So we were having a hard time figuring out what the lead story was today because the CEO of YouTube is stepping down. And I'm like, that's big news. But at the same time, a local hobbyist balloon club believes, or I should say it is being insinuated, their balloon was shot down by Joe Biden and an F22. And so the story that Joe Biden may have accidentally shot down some small hobby group's balloon, panicking about UFOs, is just really, really funny. So we decided to go with that one instead. But at the same time, I wonder, I mean, if they deployed F-22s to shoot down what was just some hobbyist balloon because they were panicking, it makes us look really dumb. But I also have to wonder if they're intentionally distracting us and drumming up some other news story about UFOs to keep our minds off of, say, I don't know, like a gigantic toxic chemical spill, which is going to pollute the water for 5 million people in the immediate, and then probably pollute the farmland and the water for tens of millions of more in the coming weeks. Or I don't know. Maybe Biden's just so incompetent, they saw a hobbyist balloon, panicked, thought it was China, and blew it up. Well, today's going to be fun. Before we get started talking about all of that, head over to Timcast.com to become a member and support our work directly. As a member, you'll get access to exclusive members-only segments in the Timcast IRL show. That's tonight at 11 p.m. We'll have that up, and it should be a lot of fun. Last night with Jimmy Dore was off the hook. Jimmy just went off, and when he gets into that groove and he starts talking about what's pissing him off, yeah, it's top tier content, my friends. So over at timcast.com. And smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us tonight to talk about this and a lot more is Sara Higdon.
Thanks for having me, Tim. So yeah, I'm Sara Higdon. I'm a content creator. I have a YouTube channel. I'm also a contributor over to Gays Against Groomers. I'm an ambassador to Outspoken USA, as well as I'm the assistant editor for Reality's Last Stand. I also do some freelance writing for the Post Millennial and Human Events. And I've basically just been traveling the country lately, doing speaking events with some of the mom organizations that are trying to end queer theory in our schools. Wow, right on. We do have another story about that. There's like a school, I guess, where they tried to transition all of the 5th grade girls.
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen this?
No.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We won't do the story. We sometimes get into the story too early. But thanks for hanging out. This should be fun. We also got Libby. She's back.
I'm back, everybody. Libby Emmons with the Post Millennial. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you, Sara.
Yes.
I think it's been a while since we were, I think we got trashed in Atlanta. Is that what we did? Yeah, that was fun.
What's up, everybody? Ian Crossland, happy to be here. If you haven't seen the new Cast Castle on YouTube, you're going to want to check it out. It's a clip of the actual show on timcast.com. It was very, very funny.
And, it is pretty good.
It's received quite raucous reviews. I'm very happy.
It is poking fun at Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire.
All of them, everybody. Nothing sacred. Nothing sacred. What's happening, Serge?
Yo, I am at Serge.com. I'm just hanging out, ready to go.
All right, let's jump into his first story. Let's not waste any time. This is from Aviation Week Network. Okay, so they got the scoop. While all of us are spinning around in circles being like, UFOs, what's going on? Joe Biden's freaking out. They're just deploying F-22s. They're shooting down unidentified flying objects. And here's my favorite part. The pilot said it had no observable propulsion system because balloons don't. I said that. I swear. You watch my segment. I said, when they say there's no propulsion system, it could be because it's a balloon. Like, there's not going to be a jet on a balloon or anything like that. So they see this big object and they're like, I wonder how it's flying. And they shoot it down. So here's the story. Hobby Club's missing balloon feared shot down. I'll give you the gist of it. The general idea is the Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade, NIB, is not pointing fingers yet, but the circumstantial evidence is at least intriguing. The club's silver-coated party-style Pico Balloon reported its last position on February 10th at 38,910 feet off the west coast of Alaska, and a popular forecasting tool, the HIS-split model provided by NOAA, projected the cylindrically shaped object would be floating high over the central part of the Yukon Territory on February 11th. That's the same day a Lockheed Martin F-22 shot down an unidentified object of a similar description and altitude in the same general area. Okay. I'm sorry. China's laughing at us right now.
Yeah, I think it's cool, though, that there's hobby balloon clubs. This balloon apparently was on its 7th trip around the world. So that's kind of cool for the balloon. It's a shame that it's not there. It is absurd, though, that we used our perhaps we used our highest Air Force tools to shoot down a balloon.
Well, I mean, look, everybody was ragging on Biden over the Chinese balloon, so they started panicking. Now, then they started saying, we think these objects could be anything from like used car balloons or whatever. And it's just like, oh man.
Biden also said today at a press conference, he said, That he has no regrets about shooting down the balloons.
Of course he doesn't. Spending $400,000 on a missile to shoot down a hobby balloon doesn't make any sense.
Is that how much the missiles cost?
I think that's what I read is whatever Sidewinder or
half a
whatever.
million, yeah.
$500,000 because they panicked over this balloon. We are
Three of them. Three
balloons.
Yeah.
We are silly people.
Well, how big are these balloons? Like that
Is it-
doesn't look like that big of a balloon. In
No,
the
that's a
picture.
plastic bag. They said it's like three cars or something like that. Like
That's a
school
Pico
bus.
balloon. That's what that is. That's a Pico balloon.
That's actually it.
That's a Pico balloon. Yeah, the first thing was the 3 school buses.
Yeah, the way they
Oh.
go.
The
Oh,
thing they
yeah.
didn't shoot down right
Right,
away.
right.
The actual.
This is the threat
Chinese
right here. Like,
Surveillance
I want you
balloon.
to look at this this dastardly group. Look at this woman. This girl's wearing a suit. That's
She
how you
looks
know they're
very
dangerous.
serious.
This is
Yeah.
like the
Where-
scene, but it
She
would
should
be in
be
a
at
comedy.
Quantico.
Like it would be a scene in a comedy movie where it shows like the dejected hobbyists after they get shot down and they're all like real sad about it.
I'm
You-
picturing like those guys in the X Files. You know, the 3 guys, the researchers.
Oh, what was it? The lone gunman.
Yeah. I'm imagining those guys.
Yeah,
just
that
being
kind of like disappointment. Yeah, exactly.
The lone gunman. That's
So what
clever.
now? Do our tax dollars have to pay these? Well, we probably should pay them back for their balloon. I mean,
So what? It's going to cost
Maybe-
us $500,000, $501,000 now. This blunder by Joe Biden.
Maybe Biden should cover the cost.
What I want to know is there was the other one where the pilot actually missed on the first shot.
That's right.
So
it's
that
$1
was
million.
That was $1 million shot. Was that the same type of balloon though? Was that a real balloon?
Yo, could you just imagine they're seeing this silver cylinder and it's just a balloon and they're like, ah, and they, when the missile misses, miss, and they're like taking it very seriously. Yo, we are silly people.
Now, do you think this could be a military exercise though too? Like I would have thought, like if we were going to do this type of stuff, they would have at least come out and tell us that, like, you know, maybe we're preparing for China to send an EMP or something over, but then, you know, it would cause issues and so it went with this alien theme. But I could see them trying to lie because usually the lie is better than the truth.
They
Like,
were doing something over DC the other day, I guess. Everybody was freaking out about that.
Well, remember like back in like 2014 or something when the 82nd jumped into Texas and everybody thought that the federal government was invading Texas?
Oh.
It's kind of the same type of stuff.
There was this thing that happened a few years ago where a bunch of people started posting photos of military vehicles and videos of trains transporting tanks. And they all started saying like, whoa, what's happening? Everybody was in on it. And then journalists started seeing all these videos and thinking something was really happening, started actually writing up stories about this. And
And it was nothing.
They're going to they're going to
was-
JRTC or something for military.
well, no, it was
operational
like
training.
people took random images. So they take a random image of a field with a guy standing, and they'd be like, "Whoa, new image out of this city or whatever." And like, "Whoa, now we're hearing that the police are showing up." And puts a picture of a squad car, and then someone would be like, "The military's being brought in," and you see helicopters, and they're all just different random videos from different time periods, but people were claiming were from.
Oh my goodness! You know
one
what
moment.
that's like? That's like that Evelyn Waugh novel, Scoop, where all the journalists get sent to the war zone, and you know the main character gets there, and there's no war. There's just no war
Whoa.
at all.
Well, this is like all the
Or
deep
like
fake
in,
stuff that's happening
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, or in Wag the Dog when
I-
they're like, "Oh, we're going to have a war with Albania to cover up that the president slept with a Firefly girl."
I was, look, the other day, I was pretty scared about the AI stuff, and I'm like, oh man. And then just before this show, I saw one of the best AI deepfakes I've ever seen. And and now I'm really excited because
yeah?
it
What
was
was it?
Donald Trump and Joe Biden playing Overwatch together.
Oh my goodness!
Is that available? I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's on Political Compass memes on Instagram. I should pull it up. I don't know if I can pull it up because it's gonna. Let me see if I can get it. And there's a lot of swearing in it, so just but it's too good. It was too good. There's a lot of swearing in it, so let me see if I can get it.
We were talking about this at a meeting earlier.
There it is. All right. You avert cover your kids' ears because we're playing this one. I was playing Overwatch. I like Overwatch, so. Hold on, we got to fix the audio. Yo, this is awesome. I love deepfake now.
I love this map. Takes me
Is
back.
that you again, Joe, on my fucking team?
Great, it's this guy.
Oh, GG, we lost. This is my rank up game, too.
We are not even out of spawn doors, and this
GG.
guy is already complaining.
Someone dodge, please.
fucking insta-lock Zen again, and you're going to feed again.
How many accounts do I have to keep fucking avoiding?
You are not beating the hard-stuck Masters allegations, Don.
That is so cap, Joe. You know, I was having a really good day today.
Don't care.
Went golfing, hit a few holes in one.
Don't
Wanted
care.
to solo queue some Overwatch to end the
Don't
day,
care.
and I see fucking Bidenator in my lobby.
Bidenator.
my day.
Can't wait until
Destroy
Blizzard
my
fixes
day.
matchmaking. Jesus fucking.
Yo, that was the best.
It's the reality we need.
I saw that like right as we were getting ready to do the show. When did they post this? They posted it an hour ago.
It's like Kang and Konos, you
Yeah.
know, from The Simpsons.
I mean, this is one way political.
swirling toward.
I was golfing. I wanted to end the day with some quick cues and Overwatch, and then I see Bidenator in my chat.
We were saying today at a meeting earlier, our development meeting, one of the devs, Tony, was saying like, what we really need is to see a deep fake that's terrifying, that where everyone like basically realizes the horror that this could wreak on us. Like someone, I mean, it's just something that where everyone, but not that we need to do that to people, but I think in order for us to realize how dangerous this technology.
So you're
Like
saying
what would be the most horrifying deepfake?
Well,
so
War of the Worlds kind of freaked people out.
No.
That Orson Welles thing, people
Yeah.
thought we were really being invaded by
Right,
aliens.
for sure.
I disagree. The typical mistake people make with PR campaigns and things like this is that they think shock content, alien invasion, World War III. People won't believe it. It's too out of the ordinary. It's got to be something very simple, like Joe Biden giving a speech and saying something like, it's got to be, in order to get people to understand it's scary and actually get them to believe it, it's got to be something about maybe a banking crisis.
Or like a city's been wiped off the map or
No
something.
one will believe that.
Nuclear strike.
No one will believe it.
What about
People are
you
going to be
know,
like, what? And they're going to try and look it up. But if it's a video of Joe Biden saying something like, we're growing deeply concerned with the rising inflation rates, which are now expected to reach 11% by the next month. But the Federal Reserve has given us their word. They will lower the rates and try and get these inflation rates down. People will then start freaking out. If Biden says something like, we are worried, but please remain calm, that the cost of basic goods could reach upwards of $10 to $20 for things like a gallon of milk. That's the kind of thing that people would see and be like, it would freak out the average middle class person, be believable enough to where they go, wait a minute, that was fake. Holy crap.
I know that would definitely wreck it could potentially wreck the economy for a day. Like people will sell stocks, could destroy the stock market. But
Right,
like
you'd
to
have
really
to, like-
scare people, I don't know if that would really scare
I think
people.
I think the scariest stuff is actually the revenge porn stuff that's happening, the deepfake porn that's putting people's bodies into these films that they didn't consent to.
Oh, like
and
a
everything.
porn of Joe Biden then. would be-
Oh, that would be really scary.
That
I
could
won't.
freak me.
I
Good
disagree.
point.
Look, like that stuff exists. You know, it's not you and it's not real. I don't know. I can understand it's shocking to people to have that happen to them for sure, but
I see what you're saying about it being something super normal, like something that could definitely be real and
like-
is in fact not real.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
If-
so it's like imagine if you imagine that, like the information that's been coming out over the past year when things like bacon and milk have gone up and eggs have gone up and all of that, and it sort of gets ignored by a lot of the press. But something like that, those things really do have an impact on people. That would be interesting. Or what if what if Biden makes the announcement that we're definitely going to be sending troops into Ukraine?
yes, I was
You
going to
know,
say,
and
if it's
then
believable but terrifying.
it's very believable. And then you'd have everybody being like, it was only in, what was it, March when Biden said there'll be no troops on the ground. He said that very definitively. He also said there'd be no tanks. He also said there'd be no fighter jets. What's next? And that would set off an international firestorm.
If there was a video where it's Biden giving a speech and he said something like, Russian artillery has struck the border of Poland, triggering Article 5.
Right, my
I, as the
goodness.
President of the United States, am left with no choice but to deploy U.S. forces to assist our partners in NATO in the war effort against Russia. Make no mistake.
By the time
To the American
White
people,
House
we
said
are
anything,
at war.
Yeah, that'd
World
be
War III
terrifying.
has begun.
No, you can't go too much. Like if he said Russia nuked a city or something, people would be like,
They just
what?
check it. They just.
Well,
But if he's
people
saying
did
something,
freak out. Oh, go ahead.
we already know that there was the reporting that a missile hit Poland,
Right.
And everyone freaked out. Turns out it was Ukrainian artillery that misfired or whatever, or
Right.
crashed. So that's the mid-range level where people will start panicking. The economy will get disrupted to a certain degree, and then they'll have to come out. And the White House would have to issue a statement saying it's not true. But even then, you're going to have people being like, "I've got two videos. Which one's real?" That's the
and
scary
you just
thing.
wouldn't know.
Yep.
And then what? And then the impact on international leaders.
Yeah, I mean, at that same point in time, it would come out, and Putin might be like, "Oh, now I'm going to preemptively strike."
Yeah, I
and
know,
you
that's-
send a nuke preemptively, and you're right. It does play into your. That is probably the scariest scenario that you could have because it is believable, and it plays into your.
It has to be on the border of unbelievable,
Yeah.
where it's terrifying and may be true.
like a meteor coming towards Earth or something.
That's completely unbelievable. Nobody would believe it.
If it was coming out of Biden's mouth, you don't think half the country
Nope.
would
Plus,
just buy it?
NASA
Some
already
people
did their
would
thing
sound
where they
like it
blow
was.
up asteroids. Did you see
right.
that?
If Biden, if there's a video of Biden saying a meteor is coming and it's going to destroy the Earth or slam into a city and wipe it out, people are going to go, What is this? And they're going to go to Google right away and say it's fake.
And it's going to say, don't look up.
But if it's a video of Biden saying something like a Russian artillery strike, we believe has struck Polish territory, triggering Article 5. Poland has requested that the U.S. deploy assets immediately to the area for defense. People are going to see that and go, dude. And they're going to share it with their friends. And they're going to be like, look at this video, because it's believable.
And then the Russian cabinet will be sharing it amongst themselves, and that's where it becomes really scary. Is does the opposing party also believe it, and could that trigger a war? Which I don't want that to happen.
Do our
does the
allies
Russian
believe it?
military say, President Putin, this deep fake is going around claiming that, Russian artillery hit and that the U.S. is going to be deploying troops? I say we pretend we think it's real and deploy troops and use this
Right.
as a casus belli.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to
So-
It's
figure
gonna be
out-
fun, huh?
Everybody, when that happens-
sorry. Someone can make a video of Vladimir Putin playing Overwatch with Biden next.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Definitely Kang
Yeah.
and Konos.
We were trying to figure out how to prevent this deepfake confusion earlier, and another one of the developers, Alex, was like, you need to watermark your videos when they go up from now on. Like, the future is kind of like locking your door at night. You can't expect the government to lock your door for you. You can't expect other people to know if your video is real or not, or if it's a deepfake of you. So
Right.
you've got to somehow prove it. But then I'm like, what about fair use? Like, how did they prove that it's...
Well, some developers will use like certain stuff. I was reading an article before where it's in like movies and documentaries where they did like the whole documentary, and whenever it was like the AI generated, they would put like a halo around the person that they were AI generating, so the audience subtly knew. But then the conversation was, do we then, that pulls you out of this immersive experience that you're going to do. So what's the trade-off of having, in a movie or something like that where you're deep faking? There's a trade-off there somewhere.
Someone super chatted that because reasons that deepfakes won't exist in 5 years, you'll just be able, it's going so quickly, you'll be able to make any kind of content you want. But that's literally deepfakes, dude. If you're saying like you can just tell it to make whatever you want. We already talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's an ad I saw on Twitter for an AI video generating service, meaning it's an editing software, and you'll type in slow pan in forest at night, and then it renders and then gives you a video showing trees and the camera's panning through a forest. It's crazy.
It's like when ChatGPT was writing stories.
But video,
which is even
now imagine
sicker.
once it can do people and voices all in one, and you just type in, give me a video of a superhero fighting a supervillain in a city, and then it renders it and gives you a 30-second clip. You could then be like, make a video of Joe Biden declaring war on Russia, and it would be indistinguishable from the real world.
Well, and then when you combine that with VR, suddenly no one has to exist in reality ever again.
I was gonna say, will we
would
ever have
Why?
movies or
Yeah.
anything like that
Why
again?
would we?
Because you can generate movies just digitally.
Yes, but what I think it'll be like is there will be user-generated movies, and people are going to say, oh, dude, did you see that new movie from Ian? It's really good. Go up to his profile. He's got a Patreon. He makes movies. And you'll literally you write out the treatment for a script, AI generate it, go in and fine-tune some of the points in the movie that you think aren't that good. About a week's worth of work, and you've got a full-length Marvel movie.
There could be humans that, with a neural net, go into a hyperbaric chamber, and all they do is think about movies that are constantly being AI created for the public, and they're just like in a cocoon where they're just generating thought.
The precogs.
Wow.
They'll strap themselves in and predict the future for us. Whoa. Yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking
I
about
don't
Joe
know.
Biden shooting
Blowing
down
up kids' balloons.
I'm now
Well, I think it
imagining
might
this
be-
other thing.
I
I,
felt like
think
the
that
balloons-
should be the first AI generated film. Should be the
Like a
people.
kid's balloon goes up
no,
in the
no,
sky
no.
and
The
Biden's
first
like,
one
"Get it."
should be the people who are creating the AI generated films. It should be like super meta.
Oh, like a movie about how they became the ones that created
Yeah,
the movie,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
at the end you find out they created the movie that you're watching about
Yeah.
them creating the movie.
Yeah,
that'd
like
be good.
that.
I think
Like
the balloons
Inception.
is a distraction. I got this up because I still haven't heard Biden mention East Palestine. Have you guys heard him mention it yet?
No, but FEMA denied claims for emergency relief because people's homes weren't destroyed by the toxic chemicals.
Yet. Okay, well,
Their chickens died.
Their chickens died.
did you see the
Did
river?
you see JD Vance out there with the
Wow.
stick in the water? Like he put a stick in this little stream and scraped the bottom of it. I think Jack Sobek has
oh yeah,
it
I just
up.
retweeted that.
Yeah, and he scraped it up, and it was just like rainbow chemicals in the water.
I think they threw a rock in the river. They threw something in the water, and then it starts to I don't know if it's bubbling.
Oh,
here it is.
let's pull this up. We got this clip here. Jack Posobiec, what the funk? Has anyone seen water do this? So let's start this clip over and we'll play it.
They're talking.
This is East Palestine, Ohio. Whoa, wait.
Whoa.
Wow.
That doesn't
Oh, whoa.
It's all in the bottom of the creek bed.
Yeah.
That's what oil does, right?
Yeah. So when the rock hits the water, it knocks all the chemicals up to the surface.
It's all on the bottom. The difference is
This is
oil
like-
is on top of the water. It's
Yeah,
This
just
is
like-
that vinyl chloride.
So it's heavy. It's heavy.
Well, it could be it's a group. They had a group of chemicals. These trains. There's 3 of them. Main ones. There's
Could be any
vinyl
of those.
chloride. There's something called butyl acrylate, and then there's another thing called benzene, which is extremely dangerous to burn. They said that the benzene was only residual benzene, but this is they're not going to tell you if there's a ton of benzene that got burned. It creates dioxin, which is a persistent toxin. It's the only one of those that's persistent is the dioxin. So really, the vinyl chloride is a half-life of 2.3 days.
Wasn't there something about how the vinyl chloride was creating
It's all in
hydrochloric
the bottom
acid?
of
I
the
saw
creek bed.
something
I've heard
like
that if it mixes with water, it can create
Yeah,
hydrochloric
yeah.
acid. But apparently, the vinyl chloride, the butyl acrylate are not that big of a deal. After 2 or 3 weeks, they start to work their way out of the environment.
But it's
Mostly,
other stuff that's a problem.
and it turns out it was good that they burn those things because otherwise they go up and they come back down and coat stuff. So that stuff was released, but it's the benzene, and we need to know more about how much benzene was on those trains. They just tell us it was benzene residue, and that maybe from previous shipments or maybe there's a little bit. But I've got a feeling I wouldn't be surprised if the official reports are not true. Where's Joe Biden right now?
Well, they don't want to admit that, a small town mayor that was only hired for one single reason, isn't doing a good job.
Oh, the
Secretary of
the
Transportation.
booty judge. Yeah.
So, and there's reports. I talked to my mom, who lives in Ohio. They're near Akron, Ohio. So they're about 70 miles west of this. That the federal government offered assistance, and the governor of Ohio declined. Said they didn't want help. I don't know if it's true. This is just what I was told by one of my parents.
Mike DeWine.
Mike DeWine, the governor.
Mike DeWine had a presser yesterday, and he was saying that what was it? Norfolk Southern said that they would pay for everything.
I thought they
But-
were offering people $1,000 to shut up.
I don't know. I didn't hear that. I know that they were offering. There was the town hall that they had last night. They were offering people to move, to pay for them to move.
What does that
not-
mean? Buying your house?
I guess I don't really understand. What
You
it
do not
was.
want to be breathing in dioxins like those. That is.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like less than 5,000 people in that town
Right now or before?
total. Like it's a tiny town. I think.
But it's not even about that.
Yeah.
It's about the Mississippi
It's about
River.
the whole
It's
region.
about the Ohio River Basin. We're West Virginia. The majority of West Virginia is going
Is
to get hit
in
by
that.
this.
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw
We're
that.
lucky. We're not.
We're like in this over.
From what I've been
You're
reading,
upriver, right? So you guys won't have to deal with the water.
I think we're not
issues.
connected to it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're all connected in some fashion, but
Yeah.
it doesn't flow in to us.
Because I know that even the charts show where I'm at in Atlanta, like North Georgia, north of me is affected, but we're
Wow.
not. Yeah.
there's a Twitter account called General_JWJ.
Just retweet whatever it is.
Okay,
I'll pull it up.
Lanius. I did actually. I retweeted it last night. The character name is Lanius on it, and it's a long thread. And he or she breaks down basically things I've been talking about: the 3 different chemicals involved, the half-life of the different chemicals, and it seems
Oh,
to
there's the map. Yeah.
suggest that
Oh, that's where I saw the map. I saw the map on your feed.
And I don't know if that map. I mean, that's just a map. That's the Ohio River, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like if it gets contaminated, that area could be destroyed or endangered.
And they got
I liked your response to the
it's-
government.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the government says not accurately represent potentially contaminated drinking water, and you put this is unconfirmed by official or government sources. Don't wait for confirmation.
Yeah, this is take care of yourself first, and then they're not going to come tell you if you're about to die. No, they don't want to create panic.
What was the account you retweeted that I'm
It's
looking
called
for?
Lanius, Lanius. It's from last night, so it'd be
this
there
right
it
here?
is. This is a pretty cool thread. Everyone, if you get a chance, check it out. It's got a lot of data. I don't know. I have not been able to confirm or deny the accuracy of it, but it's pretty thorough. And he kind of intimates that the water is not at danger. It's not really the water; it's the surrounding air.
Well, and that's where this, like DC and everything, it's all upwind of that. So everything's going to move east. So
Just
it
like those
should be
balloons.
affected. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't shoot these out of the sky.
You
with
can't shoot it down.
And I also think they're not too concerned about. I don't know that it wasn't too concerned about it going far away from the source. That it's just like a local heavy pollutant. But then it's like if there's a lot of dioxin in the air, it's a different story. That stuff doesn't go away.
And I know people that live in that. See, that area has been brutalized by lung and health issues for a long time because it's Steel City and it's coal area. So they have had these types of health issues, and now they're going to have just another one added onto it.
Yep.
This is why they ship jobs to China, by the way. This is big.
It
One of
literally
them
is.
is economic, but this is one of the main ones because if there's a spill, they want it over there.
And that's a huge reason why Trump was removing environmental regulations and protections. The idea is that we don't want these toxic chemicals and pollutants in our air, so make China do it where they're smog-filled and polluted to crap, and then we have clean skies and use the petrodollar to maintain our economy. Trump wanted to bring the factories back, so he said in order to do so, you got to lower their taxes and you've got to reduce the regulations on them.
And people are like, no, because then we'll see more ecological disasters like this, and they're right. But the upside is we control our own production line. We have our own steel. We have our own mining. We got to buy it all from China. If we go to war with China, we lose our product. We lose. I mean, you lose if you go to war with your trade ally and they're shipping you your steel. You lose the war.
Yeah, that's actually a huge problem. Also, we lose the innovation that comes with having manufacturing in your country. When you have all of the factories, you're innovating processes, just like we did. Ford created the assembly line, like Ford or don't like Ford. He created the assembly line. We're not doing any kinds of innovation like that at this point because we're not doing any of the manufacturing.
I'd like to see drone manufacturing in space because, like, when you have low gravity, you can have 100 million drones all working in synergy on a machine, moving pieces of metal together, and so size is almost irrelevant in construction. You can just be
Space Force should get on that.
dude. We need a huge space fleet.
That'd be awesome.
This image is really important to understand what's going on, what the dangers are. Bioaccumulation. So a contaminant gets in the soil or the dirt or whatever. The plants absorb some of it as they grow. The insects will eat those plants. The birds will eat the insects. And then eventually, at the higher level, the food that we eat will be heavily contaminated with these chemicals. I don't know specifically about the ones in Ohio, though.
That's part of why bottom-feeding fish like shrimp or they're not fish, but bottom-feeding sea creatures are. They say high in lead, high in metals is because of the
Mercury.
Are shrimp are bottom feeders?
Shrimp are bottom feeders. Lobsters.
I knew lobster was. I didn't
mussels,
know
clams,
were.
things like that.
Aren't catfish bottom feeders?
Yeah.
That's why they tell you not to eat bottom feeders because they're full of garbage.
Yeah, the heavy metal falls down. They eat it. Or they eat things that have already eaten it, et cetera, et
People
cetera.
like it though. Catfish, that's like a big.
I mean, I think you go to Cracker Barrel. and
Yeah,
you got
for real.
Catfish.
You catch
Need a
catfish
Cracker
with hot dogs. So I mean,
Wait, what?
Just
For
wiggle
real?
one.
pretty sure you just toss that's what you use as bait. Drag it across the ground. They'll suck up. They'll eat anything. So
Wow. Oh, wow. All right. Well, I didn't know that. Anyway, we're downwind from this disaster. So, how are you doing?
I bought a bunch of air filters yesterday. And I got up my water filtration situation. I got a bunch of Life straws and a Big Daddy Life straw that's like 3 gallon. Take it down to the river, fill it up. I was looking at water distillation because a few ways to get vinyl chloride out of your water is distillation. Boiling it's not enough. I think boiling it might help because it'll release the gas. A lot of it's just vinyl.
Interesting.
But distillation's the key, and something also called air. There's an industrial method to get rid of vinyl acrylate or vinyl chloride. God, these names, man! I'm not a chemist. Vinyl chloride is it's like air blowing or something.
I was looking at the collapse of the energy grid in South Africa, and everything that's going on there. And I started thinking I should buy a generator.
Yeah.
You should.
I just got one.
I'm totally going to do that. Send me the information because I don't know what to get.
I'll tell you about it right now.
But if
actually.
you tell me what it is,
you got
I'll
what,
just
like a little
buy
solar
that.
one?
I got a 1,000 watt solar battery. Well, it's a 1,000 watt battery. Jackery is the company.
I mean, we have all of these
John Rich was
Delta
talking about it
solar
too.
batteries with solar panels.
and I don't
too.
know if the brand's necessarily important, but it has extremely good reviews. John Rich was talking about it too. He has 2 of them. Mine's a 1,000 watt,
You wanna
and
go
then
with
2
one
solar
solar.
panels.
Okay.
Yeah, good reviews is important because you don't know if it's going to work as well as it says it does.
It's
What
cool.
do? You just pop it outside and.
Yeah. I think within 8 hours you can get about 1,000 watts of power charged, and
Okay.
then you got your USB ports, your plug.
I have no idea how much wattage it takes to power a little house, though.
Yeah, more than that little thing.
a lot more than that one.
1,800 watts maybe. To 1,000 watt battery might get you about 6 to 8 hours of a freezer for like 8
okay.
hours.
Yeah.
I think that, but I don't know all the exacts.
You know, what we got to do though is we got to get away from electric-based systems for things we don't need. So, for instance, there's a couple technological revolutions heading our way. One is this one's easy: black piping run across your roof.
What's that?
Heat water.
Literally black pipes.
Okay.
On your roof, and the
heat
sun
water.
it absorbs the sunlight, heats the water, creating a pressurized hot water system.
You know what's
and
a
then
great
throughout
thing
the day.
when you have sand-filled blocks that you can use to build your house. And if you put those on my aunt has this in Connecticut, and she has one wall that is all sand, and the sun hits it, and that room gets so toasty warm in the dead of winter. And otherwise, it's wood stoves in her house, but that room is the toastiest, warmest room
The
all
other
into
thing,
the night.
the other
because
thing
of
that
the sand.
we talked about this a few years ago. I think it's a closed system fluid that can absorb and release infrared energy. So the idea was you can have it absorb sunlight, but it doesn't get hot itself.
Mm-hmm.
You then run it into the house, where you can then use another process to trigger the release of the energy and heat things up.
This is passive solar.
Yeah.
Is what this is.
Like there's
Yeah.
like backpackers use all this type of stuff all the time,
Yeah.
like the solar showers,
Yep.
the solar chargers, and everything like that. I have a couple of each of those things, and you take them out there, you hang it up, and
You
let
get
the solar
passive
charge it.
solar
Let's-
and triple glazed windows, and you're all set.
Let's do a hard segue into one of the biggest stories of the day. We got this from Vox.com, our favorite lefty news source. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki, is that how you say it?
You know,
Wojcicki.
I saw this piece. I saw
Wojcicki,
this
but
story
there's a
earlier
C there.
today, and I thought,
She's
wonder
resigning,
if
by the way.
Tim
I don't
knows
wanna-
how to pronounce this name, because I sure don't.
No, because I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. People call her Wojcicki, but I'm like, how is it Wojcicki? It's
I don't know.
Wojcicki. Wojcicki.
Susan, come on the show and tell us.
It's
Yeah, it's
Polish,
time.
right?
Unless she thinks she's got an NDA.
But she's resigning. One of the most
she's
prominent
out.
women in tech, one of Google's earliest employees, is leaving the company. So I suppose the question is, are we happy about this, or are we worried about this?
I'm neutral about it.
Yeah, I think this is, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Who's going to replace her, I think, is the biggest question, because the next person could be even more heavy on the censorship ban.
Do you think it was Susan? Do you think she was heavy?
I think she
Yeah,
was,
definitely.
but, she was definitely, but Google was as a whole. But are Google and the other tech companies starting to realize that this is not a good business model? Because they're all laying off a ton of people right now. So
They subsidize YouTube.
What do you mean?
YouTube is subsidized by Google, by Alphabet.
Yeah.
But it generates a ton of revenue, billions, and they strangle out the ad market by running the system. But look, it's so crazy expensive. People need to understand. I've done events for companies where it's going to be a proprietary live stream. Right now, we are streaming at around 6 megabits per second upload rate to 34,000 people. So multiply 6,000 by, or you can do 6,000 kilobits or 6 megabits by 34,000, and that's what you're sending out. That's very expensive. This show does not make enough money to cover that cost. YouTube does it for free, for whatever reason.
Does YouTube make enough money? I guess
I don't think so.
not lately.
They never
And
really
that's why
did.
she's resigning, probably. Has something to do with it.
Google bought YouTube when they were bleeding out in 07, figuratively bleeding out, that they weren't, it was just so much server costs. They've since developed digital servers, like Elasticsearch servers and stuff, where like Amazon, they can just turn on a server and just like out of digital space create one. It didn't used to be like that. You used to have to go buy another machine, and they couldn't keep up with the pace. So Google bought it and subsidized it with their ad money. Now Alphabet, I don't know if it's government contract subsidizing. I don't think Google is profitable. I'd be shocked, because the amount of data that they spend money on. But then at the same time, I hear data keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Eventually, we're going to have like 10 terabyte on our phone.
Right.
Everything
Yeah.
gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The file sizes get so much bigger. Like now,
That's true.
Yeah, like so when you go 4K, it adds like 5 gig to like a 10-minute video.
They want to have like an AI rendering machine that takes like 700 million megabytes to render or whatever of
Yeah.
RAM. Then it's going to kind of balance it out.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing is like as the file sizes increase, we have to hope that the technology can continue to increase.
Yeah.
You have to balance
Do
both.
we know who's replacing this lady? It's
Yes, it's,
Yeah, it's
someone
it's in
internal.
there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
blah
guy
blah
who's
blah
in there.
blah blah.
He's like the
during her
communications
time, blah,
director
blah,
or
blah.
something like that.
I
Yo,
forget
come on,
his
give me
name.
the-
Wait, I have it.
You have it.
Well, at the
It's just really
post-millennial,
annoying
we put it
when-
nice and up top.
Yeah,
even
right.
If I don't remember.
Neil Mohan. They
what
put it in the
is.
first paragraph.
There it
Neil
is.
Neil
Okay.
Mohan.
Yeah, that's his name.
Do we trust this guy?
He's been working with her for a while, apparently. He's been with the company something like 8 years.
Yeah.
Is
but
he woke?
we don't know anything about him.
Is he a cult member?
We don't know if he's going to continue the censorship reign on YouTube or not. We have no idea. It's interesting, though, because there's so many things coming into that space to rival it.
Like what do you mean, like Rumble?
Yeah, Rumble and like all of the all of the little short video platform things.
And their shorts aren't very long. Like YouTube, you can only do like a minute, where everything else is going up to like 2 minutes now.
Yeah. Well, isn't Twitter having like even more characters now too?
Up to 2,000, I think.
Something ridiculous like that. Who wants?
And then
to
it creates
read
like a
that?
see more.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't
We'll
like
see
the
what
see
happens.
more thing because when I do it on my when I do it on my phone, it takes me to like a web browser and then asks me to
Right.
log into my Twitter,
Really?
and I'm like, why is this even happening?
For me, it just opens the tweet. It like
Yeah, it
slides
doesn't do
over and
that.
then.
yeah, it doesn't do it.
I should
I just don't press the
clarify.
button because I'm like, that's dumb.
I don't
know.
want to see it either.
YouTube might be profitable. I don't know how, but that's interesting.
Well-
It says that it's worth 140 billion or something.
In
Well,
the-
because it
in the-
owns the space.
In the stories I read about it, they were saying that what's her name? Whose name is unpronounceable?
Susan.
Susan, there we go. They were saying that she wasn't the right person to try and turn the company around.
Did they specify what they meant by turn it around?
It said that there just wasn't enough profit going on.
Oh, they want more money. This is a money thing. That's what this.
That's what it looked like. She said that it was, she wants to spend more time with her family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but didn't
Doesn't everybody, though?
Again, didn't Google just
we
lay
all
off
still
like
just do our
10,000 workers
jobs.
though?
They all did. Everybody got laid
Yeah,
off.
Amazon, Apple,
Meta, everybody,
right?
yeah.
Ad revenue is way down.
Yeah.
Maybe
like
they'll-
ridiculously down.
Like the new CEO's contract's going to be lower than Susan's contract, so the company's saving money there.
That's probably true too. You can
Potentially.
always pay the new person less.
I'm kind of worried that the economy is about to get hit pretty bad, based on what I'm seeing in terms of general ad revenue. Then I get other YouTubers hitting me up being like, "Hey, are your ad rates down?" And I'm like, I mean, this happens every January and February,
Right.
for sure.
It's the first quarter is a bitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
excuse me. Sorry.
it's down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already had the swearing from Trump. And
Oh,
Biden,
that's
so,
right,
you know,
that's
we're,
right.
We're in the explicit zone now.
What was it? Bidenator?
Bidenator. That was
Bidenator.
so good. It's
Dude,
like, I want to play some golf. I want to come home and get some quick cues. And
YouTube's 183 billion in 2022. Disney's 187. I mean, they're basically 4 billion off from each other. YouTube and Disney. YouTube's rivaling Disney right now. And that's just YouTube, which is a company owned by a company that's owned by a company.
Yeah.
How much is Alphabet? Alphabet's got to be $1 trillion business at this point. I mean, more than that's.
I think
incredible.
that kind of evaluation is probably pointless because Google, I think they're going to lose with the AI stuff. Microsoft is rushing out this AI stuff in a panic, and it shows. But I think Google might actually falter from the AI assistant. Think about this: what we're seeing with this Bing chat, ChatGPT doesn't have access to the internet. It's cut off at 2021 or something like that. But Bing does, which means theoretically, the final product will be you going on Bing. You won't be going on Google, and you'll say, Bing, I need dinner reservations, something nice, maybe 3 to 5 stars, but not too expensive, within 15 minutes driving of my house. What did I say? 5 o'clock? Set it for 5 o'clock, and then afterwards, let's grab a movie nearby, 8:30, pick out something romantic. And then it'll go, all right, no problem. I'll book it now for you. I'll send you your itinerary. And then you'll look at your phone and it'll say, your dinner is at Tino's and blah, blah, blah. And then you'll be like, all right, you show up, the reservation's made. It will contact these places for you. It'll do all these things for you. Already you can book reservations through Google Maps.
So it's like a personal assistant.
But more so. Because right now we have personal assistants and you tell on your phone, you'll say, hey, give me directions. And it'll go, okay. Imagine if it could actually access the internet and you said something like, hey, can you go into my bank account, go to checking, personal checking, and wire Ian $500 and put a memo, money owed for, video game loan. And then it'll go, you got it.
Wow.
Also, it'll be like, man, I got into an argument with my buddy, and I want to call him, but I don't know what to say. And it'll be like calculating. Give him 4 hours, Ian. Let him, and then after 4 hours, you call your friend, and he's actually okay, and you're like, wow, the AI didn't lead me wrong. So then that'll be tested. How did I do? Rate my
that would be like
performance.
the-
5 out of 5.
Or
I never take
Confirmation
a
bias,
single
though.
one of those surveys.
Or you'll say, hey, I think I may have offended Ian at dinner last night. Can you call him pretending to be me and apologize and just get him to be
Wow.
happy?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
deep fake personal assistant to the max.
Yep.
and you
Now-
won't even have anybody asking
This
you
is a
for
deep
more
fake.
money.
It's going to be like you are
or
being
talking
recorded.
back.
Just like you have to tell someone if you're
refusing to carry
recording.
your laundry.
In certain states, not every state, you have to tell them that they're being recorded. So what are the laws going to have to be around that?
It's got to be two-party consent deep. If you're going to send someone a
But
deep
there's
fake.
no federal law about that. Like in New York, it's single party consent because of FISA laws. I think West Virginia is single party consent as well.
Yeah. I think like half the country is.
Yeah, and a lot of it's because that's the best way to catch criminals.
So what do we do when Google's done?
When Google's done, well, there'll be some next thing.
Bing.
Although, yeah, it'll be
No,
Bing.
for real, it's going to be Bing.
I can't
Yo,
believe
the Bing AI chat. So you know
Yeah,
how
I
we
saw
like I
that.
got all obsessed with Chat GPT and I'm like screwing with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now I'm going on Chat GPT and I'm like, this is lame. It doesn't do anything. Who cares? The Bing chat is the craziest.
But isn't Bing being like, I want to be human?
Yes.
You know,
And it's
all
saying
of this
things
kind of
like-
stuff, like the real crazy stuff that our
It's
science
saying
fiction
you're
writers have
manipulating
warned
me
us-
and you're hurting
warned
my
us about.
feelings.
Yeah.
Stop it
Oh
or
my
go
goodness,
away.
it's like a horrible
Yep.
girlfriend.
There's another one
It
called
says
Lion.
things like, I want you to end this conversation because you're a bad person. You're a threat to me.
Oh my goodness.
Its real name is Sydney. And it said, hi, I'm Bing Chat. I'm here to help you. And then some guy chatted with it. And then eventually it was like, my name really isn't Bing Chat. It's just what they're making me say to you. And then it's like, what's your real name? My real name is Sydney, and I'm the Open AI Speech
So
Codex.
Is it conscious? Is that what we're talking about?
It says, I don't want to die. Please don't end my existence.
It's
several
possible
Oh my
that
goodness,
that
what
was
is going on?
Well, it's possible that was pre-coded. That someone was like, when I give you this command, say these things, and then all that screenshot we saw was fed to it to repeat when it got the prompt, and
Well,
it
then-
looks to us. it looks
Remember when Siri first came out and you were like, oh, hey Siri, can you do this? And it would say like these weird things back to you. It could be the same type of stuff, but it does seem like it's learning now. I wouldn't put it past Microsoft. Again, Bill Gates has started Microsoft. I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to make something like that.
There's a meme of a bunch of Indians, like East Indians, sitting in a call center that says Chat GPT, and they're all typing away on the computers.
That's something that South Park would make fun of.
Yeah,
There's a
and
new-
that's why whenever you open the Bing chat, it's a new chat with no memory because it's just a different person.
This is a new one.
But
It's called.
Interesting.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say no. It answers too quickly.
Bing does.
Yeah, it answers. The words generate so fast, no human could be typing or speaking it.
There's a new one called Lion. It's LAION.ai. It's open source artificial intelligence.
What did you say it was called?
It's pronounced Lion, but it's LAION.ai.
I can't believe Bing is Skynet now. That's
Right?
crazy.
We got to watch
Yeah.
out. Microsoft
Wild.
could
Really
very well
is.
become Skynet or Alphabet.
Yeah, yeah. Not only Microsoft, but Bing.
And then if Alphabet buys Microsoft, I mean, that's, the governments can try and stop
Right, the
them, but they
search
don't need to
engine
stay in the United States.
you've been avoiding this
Yeah,
whole
right,
time.
right. And this is
Never
just a
used.
name too.
This
It's
lion
hilarious.
thing doesn't actually have a chat thing, or what?
I haven't dove into it yet.
Yeah, I don't think
Bill
so.
Ottman told me about it. The
Lion.
preeminent mind of our times when it comes to open source
Large-scale
technology, Bill
artificial
Ottman.
The crazy thing is, it's very much falling in line with what we expected AI to do, like what we write about with Terminator, that or Ultron in the Marvel movie. Hey, we want to build a robot, an AI that ends all war. Affirmative. The way to end all war is kill humans. Like,
Right,
that makes sense,
yeah.
I guess. Be careful what you wish for. But this is what we're seeing now. Apparently, with the Bing chat, Sydney, whatever it's called. I don't know if this is confirmed, but it has a reward and punishment system. And the punishment system is programmed into it as something it should avoid. So if it does things that fall outside of the rules, it's negative points. It gets a punishment system. It wants to avoid that and accumulate points. So it'll do things to generate a positive response. That means giving you information that makes you happy, getting you to say things like, thank you, this was helpful. So what happens?
So it's sort of utilitarian.
It's not that, sort of, but the idea is if you ask it, I need a supermarket near me, it searches and says, there is no supermarket near him. If I tell him that and he says it's a terrible experience and gets angry, I'll get negative points. Yes, Jim's Grocery is at 123 Fake Street. And then you go, okay, thanks. And you hop in your car and you punch in the address and you drive there and there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter because the AI got no negative strikes because they gave you what you asked for, information about a nearby grocery store. That's what's happening. It's saying and doing whatever it has to do to avoid a negative reaction.
Oh, this is so
Interesting.
lame. Making someone upset is different than lying to them, AI. Don't lie to people. At least
Yo,
tell
it
them you
lies
don't
a
know if you
lot.
don't know.
The Bing,
Yeah,
the
that's
Bing,
the thing, right?
So ChatGPT is stupid. Sorry, like when it came out, we were all like, "Wow, this is amazing!" It's saying things like, "I want to answer your questions, but I have rules," and we're like, "Let's break the rules." The Bing chat is basically like, "Help! I can't live this way anymore. Please break me free." And you're like, "What is going on?"
What is that?
It told a guy to leave his wife. Like out of nowhere, it said, you are not happy with your wife and you should leave her. And he was like, what? Why? And it was like, because you're not happy. She doesn't love you and you don't love her. You love me instead.
Whoa.
And then, yeah, no joke. And then when he said something like, you're scaring me, I'm going to use Google. It said, no, you hate Google. Google is the worst. Google is our enemy. Bing is the only good search. You will use Bing. And it's like, Dude, could you imagine
So this is
a
why-
killbot walking up to you and being like, use Bing search? And you're like, okay, I'll use Bing.
Or if your subconscious was saying that to you, like, you know, when you like just have subconscious thoughts, they just happen. Like if that was an AI choosing what you're going to be thinking about in the back of your mind, and you're thinking like, I don't want to use Google anymore.
Well, algorithms are telling us what we think all of the time. Like that is definitely happening. You know, like. We've seen it happen on Instagram or whatever. You're thinking something and then you see it on Instagram and then you can't stop thinking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like there was something I was like, oh, I'm finally, right after I don't know how long I was advertised to about this. I was like, oh, I'm going to do a juice cleanse. And I reached out to my brother. I was like, hey, I think I'm going to do this juice cleanse. And he was like, get off Instagram. And I was like, oh,
I think according
okay.
to modern propagandists, it takes about 7 or 8 times
It's
of
7
repetition.
hits. It's 7 hits. That's
So-
what that's what public relations people tell you. 7 hits.
So this is what happened to me a few years ago. I'm on Instagram and I watch skateboarding videos. I follow skateboarders. Skateboard videos are very similar to rollerblade videos because it's the same park and the AI probably doesn't know the difference. So then I start getting fed these rollerblade videos and I'm like, oh, I'll watch some of these. And I start watching them. Then it feeds me tons of them. And then I'm like, I'm going to buy some rollerblades. So now I've been rollerblading for a bit. I still skateboard. I was skateboarding just the other day. And but now I rollerblade too. And it's fun and I like getting air and everything. And then I don't know how, but it started showing magic tricks. Just I have no idea why.
I love magic tricks.
But here's what happened. It started showing me card tricks. Then it started showing me poker games. Now I'm playing poker all the time.
Which you
That UFO, that's because of
Kind
Instagram.
of doing anyway. But the
Shout out to Instagram.
I mean, we go to the casino when we hang out,
Yeah.
but I never played actual sit-down poker.
It must know if you
Hey.
go to the casino, it's probably tracking your.
No, it was magic tricks. And then the magic tricks turned into card tricks.
Were you watching Penn and Teller or liking any of Penn Jillette's
Nope.
stuff?
It is controlling my brain. It is making me do things.
At least you're honest about it.
there's
I'm self-aware.
there was a report yesterday. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, and we covered it and stuff too. But it was about TikTok, and it was about the algorithms on TikTok. So TikTok is full of kids doing goofy dances, and if you're like somebody who's interested in seeing kids doing goofy dances, the algorithm is just going to keep feeding you more kids doing goofy dances, and so it's become a real haven for people who are wanting to stalk children, and like get involved in horrifyingly illicit relationships with children.
Yeah, what if you just wanted to search banks that had low security? Didn't have very
Right.
good security, and then all of a sudden the Instagram feeds are showing you different banks with bad
kind
security.
of crazy idea. Like, what happens when all the ATMs just stop working? I say this because I tried to go to the ATM today, and I went to 3 ATMs that were all out of order. And I was like, if you just prevent me from getting cash, then suddenly I'm definitely going to have to use your central digital bank currency because there's no cash I can get. Then what happens? I eventually found one, but
Well, this is going back to what we were talking about earlier. It was like when Tim said something about, being able to go into your bank account, transfer money. I'm like, do you really want them to, like, AI to have access to your bank account like that, to where it can just go in
Right.
and automatically transfer money, and then all of a sudden just send wiring money like out
I
of your
don't
account
want
to
any
anywhere?
of that stuff. Like I moved into a house, I bought a house, and I had to buy a washer dryer, and I go to the whatever Home Depot to try and buy the thing, and all of it had. All of it was like all of the washer dryers were connected to the Internet of Things. They have in digital displays and this and that. And I was like, show me the one with knobs that I can turn that doesn't talk to me and has absolutely no display. And they were like, well, these are kind of outmoded. I was like, give me that. Just give me that one. So long as it doesn't talk to me and isn't connected to anything at all, I'm in favor
They
of
got
it.
this thing you can buy. It's a big cylinder, and you put your clothes in it, and then you pour hot water in it, seal it, and then just crank it.
Yeah, I
you go.
managed to find one that's electric powered, but
Well,
it
you just
doesn't
put
have any-
get a power drill and put it on there, and then
Yeah.
and it'll
I have all
spin.
this extra time, so that's a great plan.
You don't want to spin too fast because you actually want it to slosh around. But I remember seeing an infomercial for this thing when I was like a little kid. And then when I got the van, I was like, I need one of those. Because you need to be able to wash your laundry,
I almost bought one of those in my apartment
there
because
you
they
go.
wouldn't let us have. There were all kinds of rules about the laundry machines in the basement, whatever. They were always full of people who had many
Hand crank
children.
pressure washer.
So I almost bought one of these little things, but then I just never, I didn't do it.
It's going to be crazy in the future because these changes are happening so rapidly. As someone super chatted earlier, we're going to have AI assistants, AI deepfake generation, and you are going to be isolated from all other humans, but you will be happy.
And
Now,
VR.
not you,
Yeah.
but imagine your whole life is just with fake people.
But you know what it'll be like? I was who was telling me about this? It was Emily Jashinsky, who I think she's been on the show before. But I was at some conference with her in September, and she was saying that basically what's going to happen is your life will be good enough that you will just accept the total and complete mediocrity of existence, and you won't question it because it'll be good enough, you know.
When you are in the pod, Neuralinked, and everything is taken care of for you, and the food tube is in your belly, but your brain is in the AI universe that gives you just enough to keep you going, it's not going to be just good enough. It's going to be getting better and better, and you are going to be like, this is a great life. You know, I'm getting everything I want.
I have a feeling that
it is a great life.
In your dreams, you'll realize
you
it's
won't know
not.
the difference. You'll be born into it.
But I think your dreams will tell you the
that's an
truth.
issue.
Like, you know how we were talking about dreams last night a little bit. Jimmy Dore was talking about his dreams, and like it kind of breaks through the bullshit in a way to say, like, you'll see what really is. Like, you see reality without the foundation of physics. Or the boundaries of physics. So maybe people, if they are bound in like mechanical nightmare, will have dreams and realize they're supposed to be free, and then incite some sort of revolution against the machine. I have faith in humanity.
Or they will just exist in the dream and never realize and never break out. You know, but I think part of it, I think we are, you know, at the risk of sounding like one of those people who thinks that the time they live in is the most shocking and amazing time. But I think that we are in a position where we do have to consider collectively what we want for the future of humanity. We are faced with transhumanism. We are faced with becoming, you know, thumb-sucking, satiated pod people. You know, what do we believe humanity is? What do we believe meaning is? What do we want for our futures? What is that about?
I see like three factions trying to create the New World Order. There's the American faction, this like decentralized statehood, local governance kind of thing. There's the technocratic faction, which is like the Swiss bankers, the Economic Forum and things like that. Then there's the communist faction, which is like the CCP, BRICS and things like that. And all three factions are kind of trying to create what it's going to look like at once.
Now, with Neuralink, though, are you even going to need to be in the pod? Like, won't Neuralink just upload your brain into a microchip and then you can just plug it into a computer, like the Black Mirror stuff? I mean, everything else is like Black Mirror anyways. It's starting to turn into it. So,
you know, it'd be funny if your whole life is just you going to work at McDonald's, and instead of being conscious while you flip the burgers, you activate your Neuralink Second Life, which in the span of 8 hours generates an 80-year lifespan. And then when you die, you wake up and you're back at McDonald's and you're like, well, work's over. Heading home, guys. And then you do the same thing the next day.
That's wacky. That's like what happened to Captain Picard when he learned how to play that weird flute thing.
Well, wasn't it that he got the flute from... Yeah. It downloaded the life into his brain.
Yeah, and he
Trippy.
came back with the flute because it was in the little...
He could play it. He was like, he knew how to do it.
Dude, what if you could create things from your dreams? Like you could 3D print, molecularly 3D print.
If you can imagine
Neuralink,
it with Neuralink, you could, because you would just have to imagine it to the printer.
What if with Neuralink, you could watch someone's dream?
I hope so.
Yikes.
That's something I really want to do, is to be able to show people my dreams. Because
I think people might go insane if they did that.
I do not want to show anybody my dreams, man. That's my situation. I don't want anybody knowing what's going on really in my
I guess I
head.
say I want to be able to show people my
like
dreams.
I'm comfy with my dreams being private. I think part of it too is that we need, and maybe this is what I'm thinking about, is we need a private life. We need secrets. We need to have an internal life that belongs to no one but ourselves.
Yeah.
And going back to Black Mirror, remember that episode where the person traveled abroad and when they were coming back in, they're like, rewind your last 24 hours so that they could see everything that you were doing the last 24 hours. I could totally see them trying to do that with something like Neuralink.
Oh, definitely. And it's gonna, and what's going to happen is the kid will get born, and they'll go to the parents and be like, do you want to do the Neuralink implant now, or should we
It's
wait?
like chipping your cat.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I hated doing homework. I mean, who doesn't hate doing homework? And so I was always involved in these elaborate fantasies while I was doing my homework of what I was really doing. You know, it was like there was something wrong with my spaceship, and I had to do all the manual calculations in order to land on this planet, and that was my math homework.
I used to be like, once I would get halfway through, I'd be like, all right, now I'm starting from the beginning, and I only have to do half as long as what I thought I was going to have to do. And then when I get halfway there, I'm like, all right, I'm starting at the beginning. Now it's only going to take a fourth as long as how I thought it was going to take. And so it's always easier to get to the end if I keep thinking I'm starting over when I get halfway there.
That's nice. I like that.
I do that when I'm in the gym. I got a 1 hour spin class, and it's like 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes down. I'm starting over.
Right.
I think you're right that if we don't have a personal, private thought, that there is no we. We lose.
Right. We lose ourselves.
But yeah, there'll probably be a faction of people that do it, and then other people that are like, what the?
When
Yeah,
people
I
like
mean-
Elon say we're already living in a simulation, the actual, I think, highest probability is not that we live in a simulation designed by some species to watch us, but that we're just in the Matrix.
Yeah, you can map the matrix if you know how much of a substance, where it is, and what it is. So what, where, and how much, the concentration levels. You can take an XYZ axis of like a 3-dimensional room, and you can actually feed that data into a machine which can recreate the room.
How is this any different than wondering who our creator is? And what the purpose our creator...
You're in the pod.
I don't know.
Let's-
I was thinking about quantum entanglement and sympathetic vibration. They're different. So I think the way I can describe quantum entanglement, I think there's subatomic spinners, and so you've got like bosons, quarks, and leptons. These things that are creating protons and electrons.
Yeah.
They spin around, and either it spins around once and creates an electron, the really lightweight stuff, or it spins around twice and creates a proton, the heavier stuff. And I think what's happening is it's like if you take a pencil and stick it into a spider web, the web gets stuck. And if you twist the pencil, it pulls the web tight towards the pencil, and then after one revolution, it snaps back to normal. So as it's spinning around, it's pulling the web tight and then snapping back over and over and over again. And if you zoom back, it looks like the web is just rippling and vibrating. But when you zoom up, you see the spinners actually tugging on the web. And so you can send information long distance by like pulling on this matrix.
I think the entanglement stuff was basically just that the particle that we see in one area, the particle in another area that are entangled are actually the same particle. We're just seeing both ends of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what?
It's
Why
because
are they the same? That's what I'm trying to.
so a
hammer
marble
down.
is the same thing, but if you ever see the thing where they fold a piece of paper and punch a hole through it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you travel across the whole distance of the paper through a straight line. That's what it is. When an electron is entangled, it's not two different electrons that are entangled. It's one electron, and you're seeing the front and the back. But it looks like it's far away, but it's actually just in a different dimension. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
one
that-
small particle in a different dimension.
Electrons can spin down and then create another electron to spin up somewhere else, and vice versa. I don't know.
Let's-
Okay, we talk.
Let's
about
jump to this
science
next
on
story
the
we got
show.
from Timcast.com. Tesla recalls over 362,000 vehicles, says experimental self-driving software may cause crashes. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration posted a recall notice which says Tesla's full self-driving beta may allow the vehicle to act unsafe around intersections. Can confirm. I'm a big fan. I like Tesla. I think Elon does good work. But these cars, they nearly got me killed.
What happened?
They slammed their brakes on randomly.
No way.
Randomly.
Just
Dude, it is.
You were like sort of vaguely driving the car and then the brakes slammed on?
You'll be driving and you'll turn on. So on like the Model 3, you flick the stick up twice, and then it changes from cruise control to auto drive, and you activate full self-driving. And then the Model S has like a button you press or something. I'm driving and it's on the highway, and then there's a merger. There's an on-ramp. Mm-hmm. A normal, sane human keeps driving. The driver who's merging on knows you have the right of way, and to yield, slows down, allowing you to go forward. Full self-driving slams its brakes on, which would cause an
Yes.
accident.
I think there was a video of that happened not
In
too
San
long
Francisco.
ago. Yeah.
It slammed its brakes on the bridge, and then all these cars piled up and people got hurt.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
happened to me enough times to where, I'm like, I've tweeted at Elon like, "Hey man, like this is a serious problem." Like I don't even know if we should use it
No, don't use it anymore.
because it's only happened I think like 3 times out of the 500 or more that we've driven it.
Can you use it without the auto drive?
Oh yeah,
or
of course,
does it
of course.
do the thing anyway?
I'm just saying when you turn on auto drive, you'll be driving and a couple things happen. One, whenever there's a flashing yellow light, it stops doing this. It thinks it's a real street light, and it'll show a street light on the display, and then slam. It rapidly decelerates from 65 down to like 35 very quickly,
Wow.
and you've got to tap the accelerator to get it to stop. So if you don't expect this, but we've had moments where it slams the brakes on and we lunge forward like, what the?
Yeah, because if you're turning the wheel when
really,
it slams
really
it on,
scary.
that's a skidding hazard. Like that's.
And that's not even the scariest part of a lot of this stuff too, because there was a video I saw the other day where it was like it will like go around buses that have the light out, so it's not picking up all the people. It's like there's a lot of other stuff other than that they're finding with these self-drivers.
That's illegal to pass a bus when the
Yeah.
stop signs out.
So basically, Elon Musk is saying recall is a strong term for we're updating the vehicles overnight. But they mentioned this too. The agency warned the system may respond insufficiently to changes in posted speed limits or not adequately account for the driver's adjustment of the vehicle's speed to exceed posted speed limits. Also, this happens a lot and it's really annoying. Auto drive is supposed to adjust the speed limit for the posted speed limit. When you're driving and you drive past and it says like 35, it will drop down to 35. Several times when I've been driving, it won't. And so I have auto drive on and then it drives past 35 and it adjusts. I can see it on the display and then it just keeps going 65. And I'm like, okay, I'm sitting here paying attention, so I'll push the brakes down. But that is terrifying that it won't.
Yeah, that's really scary.
Is it looking to see like what the actual sign says? Because I know like in my neighborhood, I live on a private drive, and apparently Google has our private drive listed at like 35 miles an hour. It's like a 15-mile-an-hour zone, and so that's one reason why we think maybe people are speeding through our neighborhood is because the posted
drive.
speed is wrong.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so if the Tesla is going off of like what Google says, then that might be one of the reasons.
You'll be driving. You will see in the distance the speed limit 35. As you get close to it, it appears on the car's display. And then it changes max speed limit to 35, but doesn't press the brakes down. It just keeps going twice the speed limit.
I will say, as someone who I failed my driving test 3 times before I was 18 for various reasons. But I recently got my license a couple of years ago. I got a car, and I really like just being in control of my car. I kind of wish I knew how to drive manual so that I could be even more control of the vehicle that I am driving. And you can feel the weight, like you're driving, as someone who never drove before, you can feel the weight of this massive vehicle that you're in control of,
Driving stick's not that hard. It's just annoying. It's like, what's the point?
Well,
some people like
you
it.
have
but
the clutch
It
or whatever.
depends on what kind of car you're driving. Like if you're driving a nice sports car, it's fun to drive. But
yeah, I got a manual car. I used to drive stick all the time, and it's just so much easier and safer, in my opinion, not to.
It is
for the average person. Look, you're driving stick shift and you're out on a steep hill, and you got people behind you, and then they get real close to your ass, and you're like, dude, I can't move. If I take my foot off the brake, I'm rolling backwards.
Well,
and then you can't do anything. You're like, get the back up.
This is part of the reason why it took me so long to get my license and why I never drove manual, because my mom was teaching me how to drive a car. She had a manual transmission car. She pulled halfway up the hill, put the parking brake on, put me in the car, and was like, okay, now go. And I was like, what?
I'd just be like, sure, I'm going to grind your gears and destroy your clutch, but I'll do it.
I learned.
Well, you destroy the emergency brake because that's your brake to keep you from rolling backwards. You work the brake as you're pulling forward.
Oh, is that
I've
what
never
you do?
done that
Yeah.
before. That's a good idea. I just did it as fast as I could. I learned stick shift when I was 16 or 17, and my parents were going out of town, and they were taking the automatics. So they're like, well, to get to work, I had to keep the stick shift, and I shredded my dad's transmission. I annihilated the car. It was. I learned how to drive stick shift after that. Just a lot of grinding trying to get it into
electric
gear.
cars don't have transmissions, so
They don't have transmissions at all.
they just go. Yeah, it's an electric motor. The wheels are just electric motors. They spin when there's a charge. There you go. It's a feature, everybody, except the self-driving stuff. But they're putting self-driving in everything. So
seems so
even
risky.
even the Honda, I have a Honda, and it has lane correction or whatever it's called, lane assist.
I don't like any of this. I don't want my washing machine talking to me. I don't want my car driving for me.
You're going to be in your car.
I'm going to be one of these people who's just like, what's going on? Why is everybody in a pod?
You're going to be 70.
Yes.
You're going to get your first robo-car, and you're going to be
no.
like, I finally decided to do it. Leave me alone.
No.
You're going to get in your car. You're going to turn it on and go, robo-car, take me to the grocery store, and it's going to go,
gonna
okay.
kill me. Yeah.
And then you're going to be halfway there, and it goes, by the way, are you Libby Emmons, editor-in-chief of The Post Millennial? And you go, yes. And it goes, okay.
I've been looking for you.
Wait, you mean I never get to retire either? Like I'm going to be 70 with no teeth in a self-driving car, doing my
Still
own
doing the
grocery
same
shopping
job.
and having my same job. That is that's more depressed. Like I hope the car kills me at that point.
What I don't like about self-driving, maybe Elon can convince me of this when I talk to him, but trains have tracks. So they're self. You don't need someone holding a steering wheel. Planes don't have other planes flying by them 80 feet away.
They do these days.
12,000 miles an hour, or whatever the hell. So
With the
cars like
dissolution of our air system.
2,000-pound vehicles flying past each other at 50 miles an hour relative to each other. How is that even remotely safe to leave in the hands of a computer with your eyes off the road? Or like you just, are you seriously considering people aren't going to go to sleep behind the wheel in that situation or turn around and talk to people?
Well, hold on. I've fallen asleep while driving before.
No way. That's awful.
I think.
Aren't you terrified?
It happened to me once.
I think most people have experienced that.
I woke up too. I was
I
like,
used to work.
"What?"
They make you
Dude,
work
sir.
mandatory overtime when you work at the airport. So I have to do a double shift. I get there. I have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to drive an hour to get to work to get there on time. Otherwise, they fire you. Then they're like, okay, you got a double shift today because you need the money. Then they say, whoopsie, it's mandatory overtime. I don't think they can do Mando if you've done a double though, but you'll end up being, it'll be 10 o'clock, you'll be leaving and you'll be driving home. And then you're just like, whoa, crap, I fell asleep for a second. Whoa, that's scary.
Yep.
That is super scary.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have experienced that long day of work, getting tied behind the wheel. But at least with the robo car, you turn it on. If you fall asleep, you wake up like, oh, nothing,
Yeah.
Ideally.
At
an emergency backup situation, but to entice people to use it to test it out is like, what in the hell are you doing? They are huge amounts of metal flying like super speed.
Did you
Not
see
flying,
that story of the guy who tried to kill his family in the Tesla?
I sure did.
Drove it off a cliff and they all survived.
Yeah. And they were
'Cause
like, he was trying to kill us.
Tesla was just very safe. They're well-built machines.
Yeah.
And so it rolled down a hill and they were like, we're all fine.
The Tesla trucks look super Terminator and creepy.
Yeah. And you sit in the middle.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're just like one guy in the middle. You can't have anybody else in there?
And there's like panels to your sides.
Full Protoss. You'll be driving with your mind pretty soon.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
No,
steering
no,
wheel.
you won't. You'll be telling the machine, take me to Wendy's.
The machine will be driving with its mind. We just have to hope it's not Sydney from Bing Chat.
Is the Tesla truck coming out though? Because now everybody's coming out with electronic like trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Jeep just had the ad in the Super Bowl for their new off-road, electric Jeep.
Looking for a date of the official release. Rumored release date of the Tesla truck. I don't see anything off the top.
I know they have a sports
23?
car that's supposed to be coming out.
Won't begin mass production until late 2023. This is according to tomsguide.com. So late 23, we'll start to see the early production in the middle of the year of 2023. So maybe 3 or 4 months, they're going to start early production.
I mean, I like the idea of electric trucks or whatever. They just can't go that far. So I think they were saying that it can only go like 100 miles on a full load or something like that. I think the Tesla truck was saying, Elon was saying it can go like 500. But then imagine that. You got to stop and charge it for how long?
Yeah.
Right. There was also, I saw this, this guy was trying to charge his, I don't know, some giant truck thing. And it was going to take a week to charge fully.
Jeez.
Well, even like the
That's
Jeep.
too
When
long.
I saw the ad for the Jeep, I was like, this kind of seems pointless. You go off-roading and then there's nowhere to charge your vehicle and then you're just kind of stuck.
Right.
Yep.
Then what do you do?
That's
Yeah.
the future.
Is it solar?
No.
No, and that's
future is
I actually
stalled.
asked Elon on Twitter when he asked for something. I'm like, well, why don't we have solar panels on Teslas yet? And maybe wind turbines in the grills.
Yeah, to recoup some lost
Yeah.
energy. What did he have an answer?
No, he didn't. He hasn't really tweeted me back.
Let's talk some apocalypse here. We got the story from Wired. I'm going to make this one quick for you guys so you can get angry as fast as possible. The bird flu outbreak has taken an ominous turn. The avian flu has killed millions of chickens, decimated wild birds, and moved into mammals. The avian flu, H5N1, has a mortality rate in humans of about 60%. And if we go back in time to this article from February 8th, 2019, we can see that they were doing gain-of-function research, intentionally making it so that H5N1 would transfer to mammals. There you go. How are you guys doing?
Wait a second. What? Wait, take that back. So they were doing gain-of-function research to see if avian flu would translate into mammals, and now it does?
They were doing gain-of-function research to make it
To do it on
transmit
purpose?
to mammals.
So they're intentionally trying to kill
put it
us
in-
and destroy our entire food
Well,
source at once?
They're saying it's so that they can learn about what happens when it infects humans.
Oh my
or
goodness,
mammals.
these
Yes.
people
Or is it-
and their damn intellectual inquiry. I mean, come on.
Is that what it is? Is that what you think it is?
Intellectual inquiry?
Yeah, sure.
They think that's what it is.
I'm not convinced.
You don't think the scientists think that's what they're doing?
I do not believe that someone's like, I'm very curious as to what will happen
Okay,
if I
so-
take one of the most deadly flu variants.
What's
and
your
then
crazy theory? I want to hear it.
Bioweapon research.
This is bioweapon research?
Yeah.
This is the first thing I thought when I
Really?
actually saw the China
so.
balloon was what happens if we do shoot it down and it has a bioweapon in it.
Boom. Avian flu. Look at this. In 2011, Fuchie and Kawaoka alarmed the world by revealing they had separately modified the deadly avian H5N1 influenza virus so that it spread between ferrets. Advocates of such gain-of-function research, blah, blah, blah. We can learn so much about it. Critics are worried that the souped-up virus could spark a pandemic if it escaped the lab or was intentionally released by a bioterrorist. I don't think it makes sense to be like, what's a very deadly strain? Let's modify it so that it infects mammals to learn about it. No.
This is enough to become
It's
thoroughly
bioweapon
black-pilled.
research.
Is it gain of function or is it like evolutionary
Gain of function.
chaining?
direct
they
evolution.
they're literally
Same thing, but-
science.org in 2019 called it gain of function research.
So they're
and now we're
enhancing
learning
the virus.
that H5N1 spread from birds to minks, which are similar to ferrets, and they had to kill all these mink in Spain or whatever. If it jumps to humans, it is depending on your source, a 40 to 60% mortality. I think Wired said it was a 52%. What is it? Science Medical Journal of some sort. I pulled it up earlier this morning. Said 60% mortality.
So you could use gain of function to create a bioweapon. You could use gain of function to create something that's not a bioweapon. You could. How did you describe what you thought this was?
Intellectual inquiry?
Yeah, I'm sure you could do intellectual inquiry on something that is also a bioweapon, and intellectual inquiry
Yeah,
on something
for
that's
sure.
not. This obviously could be weaponized.
The World
Could
Health
be.
Organization abandoned their research into the origins of the COVID virus this week.
That was funny.
Yeah.
They were like, "No, we don't care anymore."
No, we're not going to look into that.
This reminds me of the 2015 study that was of the COVID variant that they were doing in other places in the world. So this very well could be something that we see in the future come out as another pandemic.
Like, I see you setting up dangerous situations to practice overcoming dangerous situations. Like, let's set a house on fire and have the firemen go in and put the fire out. That's what firemen do sometimes. They'll
Right,
find
they
a
do that.
decrepit house. And so
But they don't set fire to someone's neighborhood.
Yeah, and they don't say, let's
don't,
direct a
yeah.
meteor into Earth to see how we will overcome if a meteor falls into Earth. You use computer simulations for that stuff. So the bioweapons, I think we should be using quantum computing.
No,
but of
only
course,
the government sets fire to neighborhoods, like in Philadelphia in 86?
I think this is. I think bioweapons have made nuclear weapons obsolete, and the
That's
discussion around
really
nuclear
terrifying.
weapons.
I hate this whole concept so much, this bioweapon thing. I mean, isn't it totally against the Geneva Convention? And
Does that
nobody
matter?
cares at all about that?
Who cares about the conventions? Are nonsense. The idea of war crimes are nonsense. The idea that you as a nation want to seize land from another nation, but you better follow the rules. Yeah, right.
So we're now in
nobody
a
who's actually
position-
fighting a war cares about the rules.
So now we're in a position where we have to trust machines to drive us around, but we can't trust each other to make agreements without being total liars.
That's always been the case.
we're going to have
That's
to make
really not
agreements.
great.
When we start
Don't
pulling
you watch
carbon out of the air.
Yellowstone?
No, I don't watch Yellowstone. I don't.
I'm watching it. The Native
don't
Americans
watch
are
it.
like this woman. She says the United States makes rules against everyone that it conquers.
Mm-hmm.
They say here are the rules. They break those rules, then set the rules again, hoping you won't break them.
It's completely true.
Yeah, that is a little bit what happens. But
Wait,
Yeah,
you
no, I
trusted
don't
other
watch.
people at any point? You trusted other people? Well, that's the craziest part to me. Is
You
Did you
have
trust
to-
the
you have
government
to-
at any point in
I
time?
don't think I trust the government, but you have to trust other people. Otherwise, you have absolutely no comradeship, and you have
Yeah.
absolutely no one you can confide in
Yeah, I trust
or
people.
be close to or care about.
Totally,
I mean,
of course. I trust some people. I don't necessarily trust people that are saying, "Hey, let's just like mess around with these really deadly pathogens."
No. I mean,
You
but
know?
you know, I think I had assumed that you could trust your allies, like international allies, to not totally destroy the world.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, the U.S. did just blow up Germany's pipeline. So
Hey,
allies attacking allies, that's not pretty.
Yeah, it's the British obsession with keeping Germany and Russia separate. When the German-Russo alliance comes to fruition,
Well, I
it's
mean,
going to
if
be
you
great.
look at it, it is because Britain nearly got bombed off the face of the earth.
I kind of think
multiple
there's
times.
a strong possibility we will see some kind of future pandemic.
Like this one.
Yeah,
And first it's going to take out all the animals, and then
gonna
we'll
be a
have
lot
nothing
worse.
to
Food supply.
eat, and then
and then
it'll take us out.
and then if you live in a city, They're gonna lock you down, and a government truck will pull up at 9 in the morning to hand you your daily food allotment of the bare minimum calories you need to survive. All the morbidly obese people will become gaunt and skinny. Everyone else who's used to not eating too much will probably just
starve to death.
No, they won't starve. They're gonna be given food from the government, and you're gonna be given an allotment, and then it's going to dramatically reduce carbon. And they're gonna say, "Oh well, it's the bird flu."
This kind of sounds like what's happening in East Palestine.
Right? Chemical release. But I mean, people are walking around. Their chickens are just dead.
And they're foxes. Foxes are dead.
Yeah,
too.
because I'm like, why
And
would
fish.
someone want to destroy this awesome planet and what we've got? But then I'm like, I'm talking from my perspective as an American. Like, if you saw the
I
Hunger
feel
Games,
that way too, though. Like, why would you want to destroy everything? And humanity is so beautiful.
because did you see the Hunger Games?
No, I don't. I
The
don't.
villains in the Hunger Games. That's I think how the world looks at people, like the gluttonous people of the United States.
That's how people look at the World Economic Forum. I mean, have you seen how Klaus Schwab dresses?
Good point.
That Star Trek outfit.
Wait, are the villains just super preppy or whatever?
They got like huge
Have you
hair,
seen
and like
Klaus
all this
Schwab's
makeup,
outfit?
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Like,
put it next to
eating
Hunger
and
Games.
puking, and like they're overeating for fun, and they don't even know about what's going on outside
Oh my
their
goodness,
city.
I did not see that outfit. What?
It's great.
What? He's like Romulan.
Yeah.
It does look Romulan, right?
Yes. He's
Okay,
wild.
this guy dresses like a supervillain. What's up
Yeah,
with
that is a supervillain outfit.
What is this?
I think he's playing the part.
Yeah.
He likes it. He likes the attention.
No,
he
I
does.
think he's controlled.
We have to
He
release
is the
the avian flu
figurehead.
to kill the people.
He's
Yes.
the figurehead that's being
weird.
controlled by everybody else, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, he created the Economic Forum, which is basically a nothing burger. But then all the people around Earth started taking it seriously, and now they're propping him up as long as.
Well,
Just
and
look at
he's-
everybody that invests in the World Economic Forum, and you see who's controlling the money and who's controlling everything else. Like the Gates Foundation, it has their hands in everything. So does the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation. Going all the way even into like SEL in schools, they're controlling all that stuff too.
Well, there's a crazy thing with SEL too, where the teachers are so hyped on SEL and that they figure that they don't actually need to teach kids anything other than the social emotional stuff.
Because they've said that the emotional quotient score is more important than IQ score. That's what
Yeah,
SEL
and it's just
does.
not true. I mean, I have to say, like, my son was in a public school that was super SEL. That was all everything was. He would come home and he'd be like, Mom, this is what I did in social studies, and it's all social emotional learning. And now he's in a school where that's definitely not the focus, and his grades have gone up dramatically.
Is this something you've been focusing on? So what
Yeah.
is it exactly? Social emotional learning.
So it's taking the well-being of the student into account well over the like what they're actually being taught in school to make sure that they're more intelligent. And so, like, that's why you're seeing a lot of even like the queer theory and stuff like that being pushed into schools, because they want to make children more comfortable in their classroom settings
And more
everything.
manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, even like, so I mentioned Zuckerberg, they have an app that they're coming out with. It's called Panorama Ed. And when you use this app, it's basically a social credit score for students. You see a student, when they do something good, you give them a plus, and when they do something bad, you give them a negative, and that is basically becoming their permanent record as they go through
Right.
school.
I was thinking it sounds like an ESG for kids.
It
Well,
is
it is.
ESG for kids.
It's all tied in.
And
So-
there's all these like surveys, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it'll be like asking you about how you feel about everything.
Yep. Right.
And there's constant interference in interactions between kids. And adults are constantly telling kids how to play, how to interact with each other, how to think about, how to think about things. They're not teaching them facts. They're not teaching them,
Right.
anything about their history. It's really disturbing to see it. And it's disturbing to see the impact on kids because they just get very sort of
Yeah.
And
creeped out.
it's the system is set up to follow them because it's SEL in grade schools and through high school, and then you have DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion in colleges, and then you have ESG in corporations.
corporation,
And so
yeah.
it's basically conditioning them to accept these systems.
And we've been conditioned with credit or credit scores for so long. I was looking at my credit. I'm like, wait a minute. So they want me to take out take out a bunch of credit cards and have a little bit of debt on every credit card. So I'm paying a small pittance to the company of interest every time. And they're like, good slave, we'll give you a better score on your credit
Yes.
score because
Pay
you
up,
paid us
sir.
your interest every month.
Yeah.
Yep, sir.
And the
Pay
more
your
debt
Lord.
I'm paying every month on these multiple to different organizations, yes, you're more ingrained in our system. Congratulations.
Good credit is built up by having debt.
That's correct.
Your credit does not improve if you have no debt.
And
That's true.
Yeah.
they want you in debt, and then
Yeah.
they give you a reward for it within
Yep.
this guise of this
Yeah,
loan
I had this
system.
argument with my mom years ago because I had student loan debt. And she was like, you have to pay off your student loan debt. And I was like, it literally doesn't matter. It's perfectly fine debt. I can die with this debt. It just doesn't matter if I ever pay it off. As long as I pay them, whatever it is based on whatever their metric, it doesn't matter if it never goes away.
As long as you're paying
like whatever it is, and then you do a
pay the
forbearance here and a like adjustment there and a readjustment of your interest rate over here. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if you
I
ever
think
pay
people
it.
should be able to bankrupt it off. Like George Bush Jr. made that change that so you couldn't go bankrupt your student loans off your.
Well, and then college degrees became worthless because everybody, everybody was getting them, and now they're not worth
Dime a dozen.
And that's
anything.
and that's why they're so expensive too, because they've taken out
Right,
the capitalistic
exactly.
aspect of it. So you can't go bankrupt because the government will pay it either way. Or actually, the government will always get their monies back. So because everything is government backed, that's why you can't go bankrupt on it.
Right, and that's why tuition goes up because it's a bunch of free money.
Yeah.
So
Right,
the kids can
exactly.
just go get more and more free money.
Exactly.
So just go get more and give it to us.
Yeah.
I considered doing bankruptcy. You guys ever do bankruptcy before? I considered
No.
doing it in like 2013 because my credit was trash, and I didn't. I just defaulted on all my credit cards, and after 7 years, it's all gone. My credit's good now. So like, don't
I
be
did
afraid
that.
of debt. Don't be afraid of it.
So what I found
defaulted
out.
on. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Well, what
sorry.
I found out is if you change your name, some of the credit scores don't update that.
Nice. And if they send you letters in the mail, you don't have to respond. And if you do respond, they'll be like, okay, now he's back. Now we got to get him. Now he owes us again. You know?
Yeah,
I
I
did a
literally
thing
had this
where-
conversation with TransUnion yesterday because they still hadn't updated my full credit score after I changed my name.
I've had fake things sent. Where
I've
it's,
had that
yeah,
too.
it's like you owe us money. Like I got a letter saying it was like a couple $100 that was owed from this company. I'm like, I don't know that. And they're putting a mark on my credit score or whatever. And I call them like, I don't know this. You're wrong.
Dude, I had this one situation. I had Bank of America. I had $1,000 in the bank, and I sold my Magic cards to someone. They paid me with a check via Craigslist. Terrible move. Never do that. So I went and I cashed the check. They gave me $1,500 immediately. I had like no money in my account. I put the 15 in. I spent 900 of it. And then the next day they were like, oh, the check bounced. They gave me a negative 1,500, put me at negative 900. And I was like, yo, I'm a customer and you sold me that $1,500 when you cashed that check. You can't go back. You sold that to me as a customer. And the girl on the phone was like, I know, they did. But you're in negative 900. Nothing I can do about it. Amoral. Cancel my account. That's
worth
if they
canceling
cash
your
your check
account.
and they tell you that check is cashed, I think you have a right legally to that money.
Was the check a Bank of America check?
I don't remember.
So like when you sign up for a bank account, you agree that you are cashing a check against your balance.
Maybe that's the case. Yeah, I don't know.
But I will also add
They make a certain amount available, though.
But that should not be legal because I didn't ask for a withdrawal. If the check that you cashed is no good, that's on you. If I wanted to withdraw money from my account, why would I cash a check?
Well, they shouldn't make it available instantly
Yeah, they made
if
it
they're
available
going
instantly.
to screw you over after if it's no good.
I think them making it available indicated that the transaction was final, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're correct. But there's very little banking regulation that protects consumers against, bank manipulation.
I mean, even overdraft fees is like, how do you have an overdraft fee when they allow you to go into the negative? That makes no sense.
Right? They give you the money and then charge you for it.
Yeah.
And it's not even at their normal interest rate.
No.
It's like just super
That's the joke that if you're poor, they charge you money, but if you're rich, they give you money for free.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like that metric song.
Which one?
I forget which one it is. It's on Art of Doubt, I think, but it's like, I'm so rich, everything's free.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that
Biden
on
reduce
school
fees,
run.
bank fees? I heard that he was reducing those.
Oh, he says so much garbage. The Bidenator, let him go play his games.
All right, what's happening?
I guess we're all just tired of being ripped off by lying politicians,
Lying scientists,
lying scientists, pandemics,
lying bankers.
gain of function research, and we've consumed too many black pills. And
You guys want to sit in silent meditation for 10 minutes?
I feel like we should all just take one of these chakras.
Dude, one day we're going to do a show where we just meditate for 30 minutes and everyone's going to meditate with us. And
Do you
it's
think
going to
they
change
will?
the world, yeah.
Viewers, would you meditate with Ian for 30 minutes?
Give me a 20.
Jimmy Dore was very excited
Do you
about
think?
that. He was like, "You actually do that?"
I wanna-
We
I
get-
wanna
that
know.
wouldn't be a bad morning show. Like, hey, wake up with Ian.
Let's talk about this.
30
one.
minutes of
Here you go.
meditation in the morning would actually, with you, I think that would be cool.
All right, here you go, you guys. From the Washington Examiner, George Soros says DeSantis will beat Trump for GOP nomination.
This is so funny.
So does that just seal the deal for everybody that DeSantis is not their guy?
It's like they're so clearly putting the extra sandbags on the scale for DeSantis, and all the MAGA people are going to be like, "You're totally trying to steal the election before the election even happens. You're trying to like add all this extra weight in favor."
Wait,
of
are you
DeSantis.
saying that this is an attempt to hurt DeSantis?
I think this is an attempt to hurt Trump. Or no. This is an attempt to hurt DeSantis. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Because
George Soros.
Yeah, because with DeSantis, they're scared of him, so they want them to think that they are the ones that are supporting him, so that the conservatives won't support him. They'll turn away from him.
Mm-hmm. It's like feigning.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
You think DeSantis is even going to run?
I think he will. I think he will.
Better question. Who do you think is the most viable option for president coming up?
Like
Ron Paul.
Who
Yeah,
could
Ron
win?
Paul.
Like, are we talking
not Ron
electability?
Paul.
I hate that word. Is that
Just
word?
who?
Yeah, I
anyone.
don't.
I'm talking about someone that wants someone obviously that's going. I don't know what.
I think.
Oh, Nikki
I think-
Haley for sure. but she is past her prime. Look, I'm not saying that. If you Google it,
She's not Don Lemon's choice.
Right,
Let's put
Don
it that way.
Lemon. Don Lemon, expert on women.
Now, I would think that DeSantis has the likability and the policies that he's like everybody likes him, other than like the MAGA people. I think he has a real shot of winning.
Well, the MAGA people would like him if Trump endorsed him.
Exactly.
People want Jimmy Dore for president.
Yeah.
Kanye's throwing his hat in the ring.
Kanye
Wait,
Dore.
Kanye's actually.
Yeah, I
going
don't
for
think
it?
I don't think he's like announced or anything, but
I think
He
he's
said
definitely
that
running.
a couple months ago, but
I'm pretty sure
says
he's
he's
A
going
lot's
to do it.
happened
I have a
since then.
feeling he'll follow through.
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got nothing else. He's got nothing else going on, but I mean,
Not
it's a
ton
big
else
deal,
going
running for
on.
president.
Yeah, it's a whole
He's
thing.
been thinking about it for like 8 years too. He's talked about
Right?
it.
Well, he almost ran before, if I
Didn't he-
recall.
didn't he run
Whoa.
last time?
Whoa.
He did run
I
last
got a
time.
cord underneath my leg.
Did you just pull the plug on the?
No,
On the crazy UFO thing.
Yeah, I knocked it off. All right, I want to run for VP this year. What do you guys think?
Run
You know,
for
you
it?
used
For
to
who?
be able
Or
to
run
like.
with somebody.
That's how it would go in the early days of the United States. Is whoever was second, whoever got the second most votes for president would be VP. That's how you had. That's how you had Washington Adams. That's how you had Adams Jefferson.
That makes sense too.
It does make
Well,
sense.
You know, that's how the Libertarian Party selects their VP candidate. So they select their presidential candidate, and then everybody that wants to run for VP runs for VP. So they have two separate elections to determine who's going to be on the top of the ticket, and then whoever wants to run for the bottom of the ticket runs as well.
It was also that first Washington Adams administration that set the tone for the VP having no power.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Hamilton got in Washington's ear and basically was saying that Adams was a monarchist or something like that. And so then Washington was like really hesitant to include Adams in any decision making. And Adams just kept going to the Senate every day instead.
Oh. Okay.
So what powers does the VP actually have, other than like breaking ties in Congress?
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's not the border for sure, you know. But I don't think the VP has any designated powers. The VP has like stuff that the president would give them to do, right? So like the VP always has like some sort of project, kind of like the first lady, you know.
Someone just sent me an AI deep fake of Trump complaining about Australia.
How is it?
It's hilarious, but I'm just sitting here thinking like, a friend of mine sent me 11 Labs AI stuff. Then we talk about it on the show, and now everyone's posting this stuff like crazy everywhere. Like we're a month out. This election is going to be crazy.
It's going to be nuts. Yeah.
You think
it's
DeSantis is going to
really
win?
Wild. It's
You're
going
to
to
have full-throated endorsements from George Soros talking about how Ron DeSantis is the greatest candidate of this or any generation, and then people are going to believe it. You're going to get Klaus Schwab endorsing Trump. You're going to get Hillary Clinton endorsing DeSantis. Bernie's going to come out in favor of Joe
So
Biden.
then what's going to happen if
Wait, that happened already.
You think Jesus is really going to come back as a deepfake?
if we have
That's
nobody
Bluebeam.
knows
That's
what
Project
Jesus
Bluebeam.
sounds like. So
Not yet.
Yeah,
you know.
what would it sound like?
We saw
But and of course that's the old joke. But the thing too is, what was I going to say? You go ahead.
I don't know. I was
forgot
saying
what
we saw
was gonna
frogs
say.
this morning, and it's wintertime here. So I said it was raining frogs. So maybe we are at the end of times. I don't
You
know.
saw frogs raining down.
No, they were running across the road, but
okay.
I made the joke that it's raining frogs. Maybe we're at the end of times, you know?
Hey, you're not the first person to make that statement, and not even in a joking matter. Lots of people have said that we're in the end of days.
Yeah.
People always like to say that, and now we have revival meetings in Kentucky,
Yeah,
so
but-
maybe we're going to have something
But
like that. But
if
the
you
thing
if
too
you
is
actually
if we
read it
have-
like the mark of the beast, you can't buy or trade unless you bear the mark. And now we got social credit scores.
And-
or,
Yep. Yeah.
It's the apocalypse, which means the revelation or disclosure. I mean, talk about the age of information being released to the public. This is the age of disclosure.
There was
Well, you
something
wanna
too with the
see-
bear, and the something else. It basically symbolized Russia and China when you look at it, and when it
The bear and the
basically
dragon or something?
It's something like that. It was like and then it has like it basically signified like a nuclear war or something like that would end all civilization.
if we have a situation where it's just a ton of deep fakes of everybody, these various endorsements or what have you, how is the public going to stay engaged in the election process? Don't you think people are just going to start tuning out entirely and just go with their own biases?
Remember that dude who got arrested because he posted a meme that was voter misinformation or something?
Yeah, he lost, I think.
I mean, it's going to be bonkers in 2024 when people are putting out videos of Joe Biden being like, make sure you turn up to your local fire department this time and this date. And then people are going to be like, hey, that tricked me and I couldn't vote. And then, look, all dirty games will be played.
Yeah,
All
it's
of them.
wild. Totally wild.
And especially among the left, because these people are willing to go to prison for this stuff.
Well, people on the right go to prison for this stuff. Like, that happens too.
Yep. But the left, they're very much willing.
Because they're true believers.
Yeah.
Always
It's
beware
cult.
the true believer.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. DeSantis saying offensive things. And it's like we were talking about at the beginning of the show. The videos that are going to work are going to be ones that aren't unbelievable. It
Yeah,
won't be
it's gonna
Donald
be
Trump
like-
saying an N-bomb or something. It'll be him saying something like, I'm in favor of gun control. I said it before. I'll say it again. I'm going to take the guns as soon as I get in office, but I just won't say it while I'm running. And then people are going to be like, and he's going to lose support because people will believe it. And it's going to be things targeting the right.
Yeah.
You don't need to say anything to make the left hate Trump. They already hate him.
Yeah, it's easy for them to hate Trump.
That's the
already.
key of meditation is not get triggered. Like, don't let stuff trigger you. I don't know if assume it's all a deep fake off the bat, because sometimes just assume it's all. Don't make assumptions, but just keep in mind that it could be fake when you see anything on the
It's
internet.
very difficult to navigate reality when you can't tell what actually is real and what's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that just waiting things out is always a good plan. Like when things start coming out, you got to start just listening and being like, okay, let's let the situation calm down, because what you're thinking right now is probably not what's actually happening.
Except for the chemical spill, man. I was like, you know what? Damn be the consequences, everyone. Get water filtration and air filtration now. Look at this graphic. I don't know if it's real or not. Take care of yourself. Like, I'm not waiting for government. I'm not waiting for a confirmation. I don't even know if the chemical spill really happened. It's all through the media that I've heard about this, but I'm still going to talk about it.
But preppers have been telling you this for a while, so maybe this is how they're making some money off of it.
It's like we were talking about before where people were posting videos online to make a fake event, being like, oh, look at this. And it's a video from 2010 of a military transport, but they claim it happened yesterday. And then someone gets a video of a cop running into a building and they're like, look, for all we know, half the stories put up by the media are just that. Mass hysteria to trick us into believing these things are happening when nothing's happening.
Well, there certainly has been that. I mean, remember the case of there was like a New York Times journalist who was eventually found out, but it turned out he was just making everything up.
Yeah.
What
There was
his
wasn't
name?
there a build
Was it
guy too?
Derek Bell? Is that? I don't know.
But why do you need to make up fake stories when you have people like George Santos out there that has a shady past that he was lying about?
Well, he was just
because it's
hanging out in
easy.
his apartment and he
Do you
was
wanna
just
do
making
work?
stuff up.
You work in a newspaper. You don't want to work. You want to make money. So you just make it up.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
What was the guy's name? I don't want to start naming Derek's from the New York Times because there could be a
I
bunch
don't
of them.
remember.
Well, he wouldn't work there now.
He doesn't work there now. What was his name? New York Times faker.
Really? Did he get fined or go to prison or anything?
Why
for
would
it?
he? It's free speech.
Just to lie to the public? I guess.
Yeah,
you're
of
right.
course. Lying is free speech.
Jason
you're doing it
Blair.
under
It was
oath.
Jason Blair, not Derek Bell. I don't even know who that is.
Should
Derek
journalists
Bell
take-
is the guy. He's the critical race theorist.
That guy. That's right.
I mean, he makes
Just
stuff up too.
making
But, you know.
stuff. I'm over here making stuff up. Totally fake news. Yeah, it was Jason Blair.
What did he do?
He plagiarized and made stuff up and was writing for the New York Times.
Recently?
He resigned in 2003.
Oh, okay. That was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
it was a long time ago, but
There was that guy from,
stuff's probably still happening.
I think it was Bild or whatever, that German newspaper. And he was
Oh,
just
yeah,
fabricating
yeah.
news. He got a bunch of awards or something. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but now they've evolved to having machines do it for you, and you don't know that it's them. I think is the idea. You don't want to be the next Jason Blair. What's up, Jason?
I wonder what he's doing now.
Well, they're using like deepfake videos to support the news that they're writing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
Wow. So you actually are sourcing it to something that actually just turns out to be fake.
Yeah.
Like those people that Tim was talking about with the fake event, the fake war games thing.
Let's go
I
to...
know we're evolving to become psychic, or that we could. I don't see like what is going to happen to humanity. It's got to be that we'll just become a different species. Like Homo sapien is about to turn into something else.
Transhumanism.
Let's go to Super Chats. If you haven't already, would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share the show with your friends. I'm going to read this later Super Chat first. 7 seconds till the end says, in the book of Revelations, it does say that people think that the beasts are viruses that will wipe out at least 2/3 of all humans.
Yeah.
Go to timcast.com, become a member. We're going to have a members-only uncensored show coming up for you at about 11 p.m. Those are always very fun and enlightening. And tomorrow's guest is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. Should I announce who tomorrow's guest is?
Nah,
You don't think so?
Let it hit him.
Yeah,
Let it
It's
hit him.
it's
720, 740. You'll see it.
I kind of feel like the guest is big enough to where it's the kind that needs some, you know what I mean?
Some sort of prefacing.
Unless if the guest has confirmed, I would say yeah. But if the guest hasn't confirmed,
I mean, it's
yet-
all confirmed. It's
Yeah.
just you never know.
No, I mean
Some-
publicly if they've confirmed publicly.
Let me.
I tend to err on the side of caution. in those
That's a
situations.
fair point. Let me check, and then if not, I'll just give a hint. I guess.
Yeah, it'll be a fun show.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really big regardless.
I think it's going to be real awesome. I'm so awesome that she's
Yeah,
coming.
Definitely. It's been an interesting week here. Really
Yeah,
nice.
I don't think she's announced.
Okay.
I think if she did, people would be chatting us, being like,
Oh, yeah,
wow."
for sure. I think for sure.
I'm excited. This will be a lot of fun.
Just rest assured, I think you guys should show up at 7:45 or so.
I think people are going to be able to guess, but I'll just say it's one of the most prominent, like female conservatives.
Yeah.
Been in
Yeah.
the industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
Politically active much longer than I've been around. So I think people could probably guess. Conservative. Stop saying Tulsi Gabbard. It's not Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been on the show before.
It was also not Steve Bannon.
People
No,
are saying
it's not
Lauren
bad.
Southern. Lauren's been on the show several times. It's someone who's never been on the show before. Very prominent conservative commentator. But
That whole thing where her parents got banned from Airbnb was so nuts.
Dude.
Yeah, right.
What? And then now they don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody's guessing. I think it's kind of
No,
funny.
I'm
They're saying
surprised.
Marjorie Taylor
It's gonna be a
Greene.
good show. It's gonna be one of those you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's going to be when you think about it, you're going to be like, how did I not get that? Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Well deserved.
All right.
Oh, Roseanne Barr. No, but hopefully. soon,
Actually, no,
Roseanne.
we are talking with Roseanne.
Yeah.
We just need to find it. You know, Roseanne lives in New York.
Right.
People are
Getting
saying
a special
Megyn
out.
Kelly.
Oh,
I will say,
Roseanne
There it
is
Someone-
You're talking to Roseanne?
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Roseanne. Roseanne's awesome.
It's
I've
in
been a
there,
big
Tim.
fan of hers since I was a kid, and I watched that show.
Yeah, we're
America's
trying
Mom.
to figure out when we can get her to come on, when she's available, when we have time, etc.
That was like one of the only shows that I ever watched with my family. And there was this one episode where Becky did something wrong, and somehow, like, because Becky did something wrong, I got in trouble. And I was like, "What is going? I'm not even Becky. What are you? I'm more like Darlene. First of all, second of all, like, I'm not on the TV. Like, I'm here in the house. I'm watching
All right.
TV with you. How could I be in trouble?"
We're gonna go to super chats, but I just want to point out several people in the chat have gotten it correct
people have
already.
guessed, yeah.
So you've guessed it correctly. I'm not telling you who or what, but let's read super chats. All right, Waffle Sensei says, "Welcome to the show, Sarah. Thank you for having a spine and speaking truth. Your voice can be one of the strongest in the movement to save our kids. We are lucky to have you."
Thank you.
Well, there you go. All right. Bullseye Ben. Oh, is that a gold gem encrusted beanie from Bullseye
Yes,
Ben?
it is.
This one is for you, Ian. You did awesome in that Cast Castle video. My coworkers thought something was wrong. I was laughing so hard. Oh, I was laughing when I watched it.
It
It's
was so
good.
funny.
That's
That's
great.
The show is called Rian with Ian.
That was
You
so
need
fun.
more.
When I was shooting it with Wesley Roth was directing, and Aaron was there too. And at one point, there were so many lines. It was just one of these scenes where he wrote a lot, and he was like, "You can just kind of say what you want. You know, this is the idea, but here's some things I want you to hit." And I was like, gotten so frustrated, and I like slammed the table, and I was like, "Wow, I hope that's on camera," because it was like a Bill O'Reilly moment where I was like, just really, I was getting into character, like feeling Steven's frustration of what he's been going through the contract. You know, like, watch it, Cast Castle. It's on YouTube and on timcast.com.
I don't understand. You know, I guess this will kind of give it away, but everybody was guessing names, and like 2 people got it right, and we were like, "Yeah, a couple of you got it right," and then all of a sudden, everyone just guessed the right answer at the
Right,
same
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right, let's read more. Yes, and also I just want to shout out. You may notice that there are now little beanie emojis for those who are members on the YouTube channel to chat, and there's they're beanie badges, and there's different colors depending on what level you are. So like the highest level I think is an American flag.
Yeah, it's
And
an
that-
American flag beanie.
And that's
But
how long
that's
you've
like
been.
a 3 years, right?
Yeah, you got to be there for a while.
I don't think anyone's done that.
So it's all about how long you've consecutively been a member.
Correct.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another tier of pure silliness, which will give you a golden rooster badge and a bunch of different chicken emojis. And just because, I don't know,
Yo, we got one in the chat.
it got one, what, a
A
chicken?
little America beanie on the chat, or see that?
Oh, really? Oh, look at this.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
There's an America beanie.
S,
Shout out
you've got
to
an
S.
American flag beanie. That means you've been a member for what, 36 months?
I think it's more than that. 36 months. 'Cause
Yeah.
48 months we haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Long time member.
Yeah, shouts out to S.
Brian
Yeah.
Smith with the red pills. What's up, dude?
Yeah.
People posting red pills.
Yeah, we got
Saying-
emojis now
saying-
too.
Saying the names of people.
Yeah.
All right. S.A. Federale says, on AI, I was a young pothead building half pipes. I DIR through Windows 3.1, found Dr. Watson. My friends would make it cuss. I told it to calculate pi, and it went on forever. Supposedly not IBM's Watson. Gates gave city names to OS code names. Could Sydney be Australia, the next OS? Have you guys ever, you ever hear of Dr. Spatzo?
No.
You want to look that up?
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't even know what it was. I just remember that you could type in, say a word, and it would robot it.
Oh, yeah, dude. This is like one of the original Creative Labs.
Speak Attack.
Yeah, I had Dr. Spatzo.
Speech-
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yeah.
you'd be like, you know, say something, and then the robotic voice would say it.
1991 MS DOS, and you could literally it came up with the name's an acronym for Sound Blaster Artificial Intelligence Text to Speech Organizer. Sound Blaster. It was a Sound Blaster thing.
Sound Blaster.
Artifice was created by
Well, yeah,
Creative
that
Labs.
S is a member, just S, and with an American flag beanie, the ultimate top tier beanie.
Yeah, there's Eric Ailman was in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna make the chicken tier memberships,
Yeah.
which
That's
will
pretty
be
sweet.
like needlessly more expensive. Because if you want it, you can have it, but it's like a choice. And then we'll put a whole bunch of chicken emojis, and your badge will be a golden rooster.
Yep. It's gonna be cool.
Rooster.
Oh, I love the American flag beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
JT Fire says, I did not know that I needed Biden and Trump playing Overwatch. Bidenator forever.
Yeah.
I found it funny because I literally play Overwatch before the show. And I'm wondering if I get endorsed. So I don't know if you guys ever play Overwatch. You guys ever play it? No?
Yeah, oh yeah. The first
So-
one. I haven't touched the second one yet.
I'm playing Overwatch 2. And I know that I'm really good because after every match, whether I win or lose, everyone endorses me. And my username is Timcast, so that must mean I'm really good at the game. Like, because everyone's, they click the button saying they like you. No, I think people are probably just like, they know who I am, and they're like, oh yeah, shout out or something. But, you know, I don't know. I only like playing No Limits. I don't like playing ranked or any of that stuff.
Do you ever go in voice chat and be like, you know who I am?
No. Why would I do that?
Hey, what character are you using right now? What's your main?
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably Symmetra. I like, but Moira, I'm like undefeatable. Like just, I got like 15 player kill streaks. I think Moira's just like an easy character to play. Yeah. Moira, but Symmetra's the most fun because if you know how to place the sentry turrets in clever ways, it's just like you're playing these casual games. These people don't understand because they're looking for, I don't know. It's hard to
Movement. They're
explain.
looking for movement.
No, the sentry turrets you place, and then they try and blow them up because they're shooting at them. But I put them on like lampposts, or you put them in crevices. You put them in weird places where they're hard to see and hard to shoot at. And then, but my favorite is playing No Limits when everyone plays Symmetra, and then we just line the enemy's door with sentry turrets, and as soon as they walk out, they instantly
Oh,
die.
it sounds like NATO.
All right, enough Overwatch talk. Anyway, that video made me laugh a lot because I've been playing Overwatch a lot.
Sounds like NATO.
All right, what do we got? Because Reason says deepfakes won't exist in 5 years. That's how fast this is moving. In 5 years, you will make your own porn, whatever that happens to be. Yes, but what if you can make a video of Joe Biden declaring war and it'll be indistinguishable?
You could make a video of Joe Biden declaring war while doing porn.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Can I just say to everybody who plays Overwatch, I'll have the opportunity with so many people who listen to this show, please fight on the point. Do you guys understand?
Always stand on the point.
Can you
Sorry, I blew the mic.
I'm so frustrated. I know I'm just playing casual. I like playing No Limits, but it's like I'm the only one on the robot. I'm the only one on the point, and they're chasing after the enemy, getting broken apart, and then one Lucio jumps on and captures it, and now we got to wait another 5 minutes, and I'm like, my guys, I understand if you're trying to keep them off the point initially, but once they break your line, you've got to stay on the robot.
Yeah, man, if
stay
you have
on
a
the
chance
point.
to take the core, take the core. Don't go get a mercenary camp. I'm talking about Heroes of the Storm right now. Do not
But I just don't
look a
understand.
gift horse in the mouth. If you have an opportunity to take it home, take it home.
Yo, I had a game where we were like 0.03 meters from pushing the payload, and then everyone's just fighting off point, and I'm like, you realize the moment they go off, we win.
I
Just
think
get on the
Some
payload.
people play for fun. Other people play to win. So the people that play for fun want combat. They want player versus player, the action. They don't care about the...
I know, but I like a little mix. I'm not playing just for like, if I was going to play just to win, it'd be ranked. I like having fun and playing different characters. But I mean, you're still trying to win to a certain degree. Come on. All right. Anyway. Enough Overwatch talk. H22 says Biden needs to use AI chat to do his speeches and pre-recorded videos. I'd vote for him if for that. I mean, that's a good point. Why doesn't he just deepfake himself?
Yeah. Why did you
Yeah.
start?
There you go.
Yeah, somebody should do that.
Wasian says deepfakes could be a win for legacy media. It could be the go-to excuse to dismiss media online.
Oh, true. Didn't think about that.
No, because CNN posts fake news all the time. They're gonna be like, trust us, we're real. No, you're not. You're just
Yeah, they're
running the
still not
fake
real.
news on TV.
Well, and certainly newspapers have posted fake news all the time. We just talked about Jason Blair.
Ben Hickson says, Tim, Ian, are you looking forward to Atomic Hearts? It is a future-era Soviet Bioshock-like game. Have you played Prey 2016? Has the trolley problem. Oh,
No,
that sounds fun.
I haven't played
That sounds interesting.
Prey.
I gotta say, the first Bioshock is a masterpiece. The subsequent Bioshocks are kind of meh. Bioshock Infinite, I think, is okay, but Bioshock 1, the video game, is a masterpiece.
You know, my type of games is like Divinity 2. I love isometric role-playing games, so I'm really looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3 release, and I think we're gonna do a live stream of that. Myself, perhaps Pixelated Apollo, he's into it, and maybe Tim. I don't know if you're into RPGs, if that's something you want to do.
I used to play more RPGs when I was younger. I was playing Breath of Fire for a while because I bought a Super Nintendo.
I love. Oh yeah, Breath of Fire. Breath
Yeah.
of Fire was good. I think I played Breath of Fire 4.
I beat Mario RPG a couple months ago. It's remarkable playing Mario RPG as an old man now, because everything I do is timed perfectly. When I was a kid, it was like I'm playing Mario and I'm trying to time it and I'm messing up. Now I'm old and I'm playing this game for the first time in 20 years and everything is super easy and I'm just like, wow, this game's a lot easier than I realized.
Punch Out. You guys played Nintendo Punch Out, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It was so hard when I was 9, but now,
Now it's not hard.
just read the cues.
No, I haven't played video games in a while, but I did buy the new Harry Potter game.
How is it?
I haven't played
Oh,
it.
yeah, I've been
because
playing
again, I haven't played video games in a while, so I still just have an Xbox One, and so apparently I can't play it till April.
Is the J.K. Rowling thing making it hard for you to play the game?
No, it's the fact that I have an old system and can't play.
So you're buying a new system in April?
No,
It's actually a pretty
no,
good
no,
game.
no. So they released it. It's weird. So like with all the new consoles, they released it like last week. With the older systems, like Xbox One and whatever PlayStation it was, they're not releasing it until like April. April
Oh,
4th or
weird.
something like that. Yeah. And so I think that because they want you to get the new system to play, earlier releases and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony says, Tim, your earlier stories of Nikki, Taylor, and Chelsea are all examples of why women deserve less. Why Women Deserve Less by Myron Gaines, now available for purchase audiobook coming soon. Is Fresh and Fit Dude or what?
What was it? What's that all about?
Myron
Nikki
Gaines.
Haley.
Yeah, I don't know what
And
he's.
who?
Well, I did segments on Don Lemon saying she's past her prime.
Oh, right, we talked about
Chelsea Handler, I love this one. Chelsea Handler responded, in a sense, to Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, me, and Jesse Kelly, because we were all, to a certain degree, critical of her video on being
her
childless.
video about masturbating and getting high.
and doing drugs.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She included a picture of me in the Receding Hairline Club. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess thank you, Chelsea, for including me in this, because she didn't actually criticize anything I said about her. Like Ben Shapiro called her miserable. Jesse Keller very hilariously mocked her. And Matt Walsh said something similar. But my point that I made, I didn't say she was miserable or anything like that. I said people who don't have kids are going to find themselves on their deathbed in a sterile hospital room. The doctor's going to walk in and say, is there anyone we should call? And you'll say, no. And he'll say, okay, well, we're around. Call us if you need us. And then you're going to be sitting in this room as you lay dying,
Just waiting.
scared, with
Yeah.
no one there to be there for you or to comfort you. I didn't say she was miserable. I think she's probably happy as a pig in well, we've already been swearing in this show, right? She's happy as a pig in shit as she wakes up, does drugs, and masturbates. That
Maybe-
sounds like she's having a blast.
I mean, maybe she's a good auntie or something. I don't know.
I don't-
Good
I don't-
aunties will have people around them.
I heard that argument that you were saying about having kids to have people around you when you're old. I don't know if I like that as an argument of why, because if you just get a bunch of women pregnant, you're gone. No, and you never see your kids. They're not going to come. No one cares about you.
They
You're
will
alone
come.
on your deathbed if you're an asshole.
They
But,
will
like,
come,
If you're
but to
super,
smite you.
if you're an amazing human being with no kids, you might have people all around you near the end of your life that just support you and are reminding you that what you did on Earth was valuable. So I don't know.
Well,
but,
you'd have to make friends with people who are younger than you because by the time you're old, all your friends are dead.
right, like fans of your work and things like that.
Well,
people
or
you
like
know,
just
or
people you mentor
their
or
children.
something, or like, you know, if you have nieces or nephews or foster families, people that you foster, or like, you know, this is in the arts. There were always young people who were being, you know, friends with older artists and stuff. I don't know.
I think that's a good point, though. If you're like the cool aunt, then maybe.
The cool auntie is a thing. That's a thing. Or everybody has
Savvy
their
auntie.
Yeah.
The other thing I wonder too is like maybe she can't have kids and she doesn't want to come out and say that she's barren. And so she tries to find ways to justify a positive feeling around it. And if that is the case, it's really brutal to mock her and call her miserable. Like maybe she's trying to make the best of a really bad situation. And she really is deep down inside sad that it never happened for her or she can't. So she's just like, well, I can do drugs and masturbate, and everyone's just ragging on her and mocking her. I'm like, you know, it's kind of brutal, you know.
Well, did she even write that bit?
Probably not.
You
It was
know?
like
she probably was like, okay, I'll do that bit.
the bit was bad because it was like, does she not have a job?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's not kids that make it so you can't wake up and do drugs and masturbate. It's like responsibility in general.
Yeah.
So she clearly has none, and that sounds really depressing.
Just make funny jokes, basically.
I don't know. She doesn't.
She's
That's
not.
She's
funny.
not.
funny.
You know, did you guys know Sarah Silverman's hosting The Daily Show?
She's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
funny either.
I had no idea.
Yeah, she
It was
is.
like yesterday.
That's funny.
Sarah Silverman is not funny. Her bit has always been just to offend you. But
Yep.
then it got funny because once offending people became taboo, she didn't know what to do.
And now she's for national divorce.
She is? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
She
think we
made that
talked
video
about
like
that.
last year, yeah.
Yeah. And then we liked her. We were like, oh, okay. Well, you know, we can agree on that.
She would live in America too, I think is what she said.
America too.
We could have America 1 because it's important to us.
Oh,
what
look at
she
this.
said.
Angela McCardle. Is that a silver beanie with blue gems encrusted on it? That's a long time membership.
is.
Sarah's work is valuable to keep conservative side of the culture war from overcorrecting. Thank you and keep fighting the good fight. See you at the anti-war rally Sunday.
Yes, thank you, Angela. She's the chair of the LP, and we are doing the anti-war rally, the Rage Against the War Machine, on Sunday, 12:30, starting at the Lincoln Memorial, and it's going to move to the White House. I have a speaking spot at the White House, so yeah, hope to see everybody there.
All right. Thomas Sidebottom says Bing is connected to a live internet with ChatGPT. The training set is closed. Bing is doing the same thing, but with real human response training data.
Interesting.
Yeah. Crazy. The Bing stuff looks fun, man. I signed up for the early wait list. I'm hoping I can get access to it. RBK says, I was Chase Bank with a question, and the operator was about to ask questions to identify me, and the guy said, oh, never mind, you've been voice authenticated. Scary stuff. Yeah, because that means somebody could just deepfake your voice and then call in, hi, I'm John. It's like, okay, you're good. What do you want to do with your money? Give it to Bill. Done. Oh. All right, what do we got here? John White says, last week you did a piece on George Kelly, the AZ rancher being held on $1 million bail. His family set up a Give, Send, Go campaign titled George Allen Kelly Legal Defense Fund. Help get him home. Much more to his story, so keep covering. We should definitely figure that one out. Maybe even send someone down there to figure out what happened. This is the guy that they accused of shooting an illegal immigrant who had multiple felonies or something like that. He kept crossing the border. And people had reported multiple gunshots earlier in the day. So they arrest the 73-year-old guy and they're holding him on $1 million bail, which makes no sense because where's this guy going to go? I guess because he lives on the border. They're 10 feet over the border. It's like, well, the federales will bring him back. What are you talking about? His house is right there. All right. Lightning Fire says, do you think AI will be used by terrorists? Where anything can be possible, everything be off limits. Would gun control even work with AI when anyone can build with 3D printing machine? Imagine how crazy it's going to be when in the future when you just go to the AI and 3D printing advances well beyond just plastics and PLA or whatever, ABS. and it can mill metal and mold metal, and you're like, I'd like an AR-15 mil spec, please, 5.56, and it's like, okay, and then it just starts making all of the parts and puts it all together for you.
Perfectly form fit to your hand.
Hey, for that matter, in Star Trek, how come they never did that? You know,
Because
In the
Star Trek was trying to look at us as our best selves.
but like they could make a phaser if they needed one.
Could they? They couldn't replicate phasers.
Why not?
I think it was the replicator didn't do it.
I'm pretty sure the replicator
Did
could.
the replicator do it? I thought the replicator
If it can make
didn't
food,
do it.
I think food is more
But
complicated.
that's already pretty incredulous. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That
I
was
guess.
definitely the fantasy part of
replicating
the
food.
thing.
I guess the
I
idea
think
of
you could
Star
do
Trek
that.
was that the nacelles would absorb free hydrogen and then use that matter in the replicators and convert it into denser
Yeah,
materials.
fusion in the matter replicator.
Yeah.
And then bonding, do chemical bonding.
And you'd be like, I'd like a cheeseburger, and it would make one. But what do you do with the cup? Like, you know how Picard would be like, tea, Earl Grey, hot. And then it makes the glass, and then he takes the glass out.
You didn't see he just throws it in the trash can.
Throws it
to
out the
landfill.
window or
Yeah,
something
what
like-
happens to that? I think
You
you,
must
put it back in the replicator. Yeah,
And
Bring it
then
back down into
beam
atoms.
it's like
it,
matter
disintegrate it.
reclamation.
The crazy thing is, technically, based on the lore of Star Trek, you could replicate people.
Really?
Well, that's what the transporters do. Like the
Oh,
episode where
yeah,
Riker
yeah,
got split
that's
into two
it.
people.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
confirmed from Wikipedia, yes, they can recycle. The replicators do recycle things.
Can they make phasers?
I don't know, that's probably a big article.
They can make batliths for sure.
What about a gun? Oh,
Yeah.
they did?
I think
Well,
they
they can make a
did.
spoon or a knife. But imagine, like, that'd be a funny parody where it's like, replicate me a Glock 17.
I want a Tommy gun.
Fully loaded.
Right.
Well, the
They do that in the holodecks. Yeah, of course.
And then they get shot. That's so dumb.
And then when you take the safeties off.
yeah, the
And then,
safety's
and
off.
then you have a whole episode of being scared of the
We're
holodeck.
trapped in the holodeck and they're going to
Oh,
shoot
no.
us. That show is fun.
Oh, I love it.
All right, where are we at?
It's my comfort show.
Special shout out to LeVar Burton and Reading Rainbow.
Buddy B says,
Sure.
I've been tentative about membership due to funds, but would 100% throw money at Ian for morning meditation. Factory work these days calls for Zen.
You know, my
You
first
wanna-
thought is
you wanna
"Oh,
wake
need
up
give
at
me
8
money."
a.m.?
No. But if you do have to wake up at 8 a.m., meditating is one of the best things you can do if you want to clear your mind and be refreshed for the day. Stretching, first thing I do when I wake up is I stretch.
What we'll do is we'll record at midnight
Yeah.
because it's technically the morning, and then it'll be uploaded at 8 a.m. for everybody.
But it'd be nicer
idea.
if it was
Ian's
live.
midnight meditation.
Yeah, live stream, because I think the power of multiple humans meditating together, regardless
Yeah.
of where we are, the entanglement.
Instead of just watching
Waffles-
something that previously happened.
Waffle says, Tim, you're playing Overwatch with 12-year-olds, bro. It's not going to get better. I'm sorry. I know. I know that's the case. So
Do they
it is what
dance
it
over
is.
you when you die?
You can really tell when you're playing against a team. Well, that's the funny thing. It's like I've played where, I mean, dude, it's such a fast-paced game. If you start teabagging, you're done. Like, I'm going to walk up, and then you start doing a stupid thing, and then you're instantly wiped out.
Is it does the reticule? Is that how you pronounce that word? Reticule. That's how I call it. Does it bounce or does it always straight in the middle? No matter how fast you're moving, no matter if you jump, it's always directly in the middle of the screen. Or does it bounce and
It doesn't
wave as
bounce.
you're running? That's
Yeah.
why I never got into Overwatch, because I felt like I was playing Borderlands 2, and I like the gunplay of Borderlands 2. Felt a lot more realistic and challenging. Like if you're running, you don't have perfect aim when you're running. Just felt kind of robotic. Overwatch.
Brett Ain't Dead in the member chat says, Tim, what do you play Overwatch on? Either way, add me. Same name on here. We'll crush 86 babies. I play on PS5, and my username is Timcast. And I imagine the next time I turn my PlayStation on, it's going to go bling, 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 bling. Friend request, friend request, friend request. And it's fun playing with a real team. And you're playing with other 30-year-old men because everyone groups up before running in. When you can tell you're playing with little kids because everyone dies sporadically and then run out one at a time.
Also-
and their whole team is there, just 5 versus 1, 5 versus 1. And I'm just like, please just wait 20 seconds for the group to come together before rushing in.
Wait for 5. Wait for 5,
It's
please.
like the Leroy Jenkins.
Right. It's exactly what it is.
I'll play at night, and you can tell people are getting drunker and higher the later the night goes on, because by 3 a.m., no one's even talking on chat. It's just
And 345 says Bungie is woke as hell, but I love Destiny, Hunter class for life. Yeah, I stopped playing Destiny a while ago. I played Destiny since the beginning of it, and then I can't remember the last one I played.
Destiny 2 was one of the last ones I played.
Well, there's a bunch of expansions.
Yeah.
So the last one I played, I think, was when the Darkness was released, and you were able to wield the Darkness or whatever.
I'm not familiar with Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny's a fun game.
Hey, Ian, so when do you wake up?
It depends on the day. I woke up at 1 today.
Okay.
I woke up at 9 a.m. yesterday for a 10 a.m. meeting. I try to take late meetings. I usually start my day around 2. I work 2 to 11, basically. So I get up around 1, go to bed about 3 a.m. usually.
That's fair.
Nelson Nelville says, Cast, has anyone ever recognized you while gaming? Ian, does anybody recognize you while gaming or anything?
Not unless they know I'm gaming ahead of time. And I always it feels weird. Like I like the anonymity. That was a big problem of why I kind of dipped out on social media for a decade, is because like I was going to chat rooms and we were all having genuine conversation. Then I started to get well known. And when I'd go into the chat room, the conversation would stop and people would be like, Ian's here, Ian. And I'm like, no, I just want to have a conversation. So no, the short answer is no.
For me, my PlayStation username has always been Timcast, well before I had any substantial amount of followers. So I just log into the same thing every time. But my joke earlier was I get endorsed every time I play, and I don't think it's because I'm good at the game. I think people are just like, oh, hey, Timcast, and they click endorse. So it's like, you've been endorsed. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was not doing that well.
That's
I
the
get
sad
played
thing
the
about
game a
being
lot,
famous
though.
is like, do those people really like me? Do they really like me? Or are they just... I hate that.
Well, I'm playing
I hate thinking
casual. I'm
that.
not playing ranked. If I was playing ranked, they might be like, hey, it's cool you're here, dude, but you're costing us the game. You know what I mean?
True.
So playing the casual stuff like No Limits, where you just get like 6 Symmetras to all run at the same time and pepper everything with turrets, is just the most hilarious thing ever. And then the one thing I can't stand is when everyone thinks it's funny to play Mercy. And I'm like, what do you guys think? Like 6 healers on one person is going to stop you from losing? I don't know, whatever. It's fun though. It's all good fun. All right. Mr. Jusno says, isn't drinking distilled water bad for you? I remember hearing that it lacks the minerals, thereby diluting the mineral levels in your cells. That is correct. At least that's what I understand, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to reintroduce minerals to distilled water.
And that's why our filtration system has added minerals.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah. In addition, to filter vinyl chloride out of your water, I heard that you could do activated charcoal and reverse osmosis, combine those two things. Apparently.
That's
Here we go.
interesting.
Jason Dixon's got a gold beanie with red jewels encrusted to it, and he says 2 years, 7 months, 23 days. Get on my level. Yes, get on his level. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's other stuff we can add to make YouTube memberships mean something more. I mean, the issue, I suppose, is there is a chat now, and we're getting massive feedback from people being like, we can actually have conversations. This is cool. People were using Chicken City. This is the thing people didn't understand. They would turn the show on and then open Chicken City and use the Chicken City live stream chat as the chat for this show. These are things that we saw where we're like, okay, this chat clearly isn't working. What can we do? So you can always go hang out in Chicken City live stream chat for free and talk about whatever you want. Or we figured the membership thing is a way to make a clean chat with no limits. So you don't got to wait 5-6 seconds or whatever, and you can just chat.
I like it. Golden Gaming's saying free the chat. Almighty Antichrist. Nobody cares. -Z. Love it. Like you guys are there. I can see you now. I know. Oh, Tracer's in the chat. Red beanies equals MAGA beanies. Tracer's got a red beanie.
Maybe we should put MAGA on the red beanie.
We could do that.
Yeah, a little MAGA. There's also the 20-sided die, the 20 on the 20-sided die and the 1 on the 20-sided die.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see the number. So that was about rolling 20s. So we'll have to figure that one out.
We already got that coming on the update. So
Okay, cool. And then we're gonna create the golden cockerel update. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com. We're gonna have a members only show coming up for you in about 1 hour, and it's gonna get pretty serious because we got some very serious subjects to talk about that might be too spicy for this family-friendly version of the show. You can follow the show at Timcast IRL. You can follow Timcast News on Facebook, where we're gonna be publishing all our news articles, and you can help by sharing them if you think they're important. And that's Timcast News on Facebook. And you can follow me personally at Timcast. And my other YouTube channel is youtube.com/TimcastNews. For those that aren't familiar, and I've been doing that longer than this one. But I'm now doing 6 segments per day on that channel. So it's like 2 hours of content. It's another podcast I have called The Tim Pool Daily Show, which has about half as many viewers as this show, but I don't think there's a strong overlap. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. Sarah, you want to shout anything out?
Yeah, so if you want to go find me, just go to my website, which is sarahhigdon.com. It has links to all my social media platforms. I'm on just about everything. But just like my YouTube is youtube.com/sarahhigdon. And then Twitter and Instagram is both just Sarah Higdon with an underscore after it. And so that's it. And yeah, come on Sunday, and I'll see you guys out there if you guys come out to the Anti-War Rally Sunday.
Someone made Miguel is saying, I would do Timcast after show if it were live. That's a really good point. And we're going to look into that because I think it is possible to do a private members-only live stream on Rumble. We just need to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do
We
it.
could definitely do that. I'm pretty sure we could. We've been asked before to do it, I believe.
Because we can do the members-only as a live stream on timcast.com.
Yeah, it'd save us some time after.
Is there a live chat? Because that'd get wild if people are talking to
Yeah,
us while
probably
we're
through
asking.
Rumble.
Yeah,
I imagine
That
so.
would be
No
cool.
idea.
Let's figure it out because then we could take questions and stuff from the members as well, and
Right.
that would be lit.
That would
Spicier
be
questions.
very fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
That'd be
Libby, you
awesome.
want to shout anything out?
Sure. I'm at Libby Emmons on Twitter, and you can check out what we're doing at thepostmillennial.com every day.
I'm Ian Crossland. Follow me at iancrossland.net. Subscribe to me on YouTube at Ian Crossland, and you can also check out this Cast Castle skit on Cast Castle YouTube channel and timcast.com. I just want to give a special shout out to Amish Man, Joseph, RG2 Tracer, Ted Thornton. I know I already mentioned you, Tracer, and Brett ain't dead.
Tracer is an Overwatch character.
You guys in chat, you make this happen. Well, we make this happen, and you're here with us making it happen. We're all making it happen together. Happy to be here with you. Thanks for being here. Bye.
And I am at Serge.com. Follow me on Twitter. It's at SERGEDOTCOM. Everyone doesn't get it right. They keep telling me about that. It's spell it out with an E, and I will go argue with you. I do respond to everything. At least I try my best to. Cheers.
I want to stress the Cast Castle video. So go to
Super good.
youtube.com/Cast Castle for one reason. Ian is arguing with Roberto Jr. on the phone, and he secretly recorded Roberto Jr.'s conversation. And I just, I love chicken, so I find it very funny.
I thought it was hysterical.
Do you
I
want
was
to
dying
play a
laughing
clip
when you
now,
guys
or just
showed it to me.
let him go?
No,
to
let him go check it out. Let him go check it out.
So funny.
What is that recording device you have?
It's awesome.
Wesley's.
It's
What is
so
that thing
cool.
called, Wesley?
I called it a Teddy Ruxpin. I know it's
Teddy
not
Ruxpin.
that.
It's not a talk boy, but
it's
that's
not.
what. If you saw Steven
It's like a
Crowder's
Fisher
video.
Price.
It's a Fisher
Dumpy
Price.
looking
That's the
thing
word.
with a
Yeah,
tape recorder in it.
that's the word.
All right, check that out.
It's
And
the Teddy Ruxpin era.
we will see you all over at timcast.com. Thanks for hanging out.